My wife and I were wondering, Ben, something's funny going on here next door.
We're wondering if maybe you had experienced any disturbances lately.
What kind of disturbances?
Hello? There's one more thing. A terrible presence is in there with her. 1, 2, 3. So much rage. So much betrayal. I've never sensed anything like it. 5. Crossover, children! All are welcome!
Steven! Don't let go!
You son of a bitch, you left the bodies and you only moved the headstones!
What's happening? They're here.
Welcome, everybody, to Midnight Cinema. I am Art Hennessey in San Diego, California.
And I am Erik here in Salem. Welcome to the podcast. All are welcome. Now stand back. You're messing with my frequency.
What happened? Who's joined the podcast? Where's Erik?
Helium. I was going to actually buy a helium balloon, and I got lazy. And I thought, oh, wait, I could just pull my throat a little bit and be like,
Yes, I'm also here for the podcast.
So that is not the famous psychic Tangina on the other end here.
no, it's not. Surprise. It's me, Erik, in Salem, Massachusetts, where we have a
Yes.
lot of psychics, by the way.
So you can probably tell from that iconic voice that Erik just imitated. Very well, I will say, Erik, I was not expecting that. And I wish the audience could see all the contortions of your face you were using to do that, including holding your voice box or something.
Yeah, you gotta
Squeeze it a little bit. You gotta squeeze it hard.
So you can probably tell from that iconic voice, we are talking this week about Poltergeist, starring Craig T. Nelson, Jo Beth Williams, Dominique Dunn, and Zelda Rubinstein, along with some other cool people that we're going to be talking about. Directed by Tobe Hooper.
look at your face. Toby Hooper? You know, IMDb has half of the stuff they have, the facts, are on the dispute, whether it's Spielberg or Hooper. And I'm like, well, all right. Okay.
Yeah, it's when we were doing our show prep, I had put this as a controversy, and Erik was like, do we really need to talk that much about it? It's a movie, and it's great, and everybody loves Poltergeist. But yes, it is a controversy. Even Spielberg is the name we haven't mentioned yet. He produced this movie, Poltergeist. There is a dispute as to how much Steven Spielberg directed the movie and how much Tobe Hooper directed the movie. There's a lot of different stories over the years. Tobe Hooper, famous director, of course, of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and The Fun House prior to this. Movies which we will probably cover at some point on Midnight Cinema. But Tobe Hooper directed this, and he passed away,
right.
Unfortunately.
Not while he was directing it, though.
No.
He passed away while he was directing it.
Well,
Look, you said to me when we were doing notes back and forth and I was writing in penis jokes, you said we weren't going to spend a lot of time. I just want to point out that when you watch the film, if you didn't know who directed, they didn't show it, and they said, who do you think directed this? I would think you would have said instantly, oh, Steven Spielberg. Feels like a Spielberg film. I don't care who shot it. According to the, whatever it is, Directors Guild, it's directed by Tobe Hooper.
No, but I agree with you, Erik. You watch this movie, it's Spielberg all over it. If Tobe Hooper was the driving force behind this, it doesn't really look like any of his other movies and feel like any of his other movies. And so he's being influenced by Spielberg if it truly was his vision.
I think so, because I think Spielberg's probably apparently he's just a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
But he seems like he's a helicopter mom when it comes to other people directing movies that he's producing. And that makes sense to me because his name's on it. But whatever, because we're not talking about this art.
No, we're not.
About Poltergeist art.
But let's talk about it as Poltergeist then.
Oh, good.
Steven Spielberg, probably the reason we have this controversy is he did want to make this movie. He couldn't, though, because he was directing another movie you might have heard of at the time. He was kind of involved with it. It's a little...
Arsenic and Old Lace.
No. Good guess, though.
Train Robbery.
No, good guess.
What's that one with the woman that goes to Paris and it's all just soft porn?
Emmanuel or something?
Thank you. Manuel in Paris. Oh, no, what is it, Art? What is it?
What is it, Art?
E.T. the
Wait, what is it?
extraterrestrial.
Yes. Wait.
You have to pull the throat again.
E.T. Sell the phone home.
It's the same voice.
So I think he really wanted to make it, and I think he had a lot of passion for it, actually. And I do want to point this out, Eric. We really never got a Spielberg horror movie aside from this, right? Can you think of?
Well, here's the thing. Obviously, I love this movie. I've seen it way too many times. My wife loves this movie, and so she's going to actually listen to this podcast. Isn't that crazy? Because she don't like horror movies very much, but she'll watch them. So, hello, Orsina, my love. Belva. Yeah. So, yeah. To me, it's not necessarily a horror movie. It's like the same way that Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom would be a horror movie, because it's horrible moments, but horror to me is more, you're terrified quite a bit of time. And this is like, whoa. But I think it's more of I would say it's a horror adventure or adventure horror. But that's what I like about it, because it's a normal world where abnormal things are happening versus a horror movie where it's not quite, something's off, like the serial killer or it doesn't seem like Smile is a horror movie, but Smile never stops being serious. This one is like just a slice of life. And I love the actors in this. Look, I'm already digressing. I love this movie. So horror movie or not, I like the way it goes.
Yes, it is really a great mixture of a lot of different things. Like you said, sort of a family movie, a drama, an adventure, and comedy. There is legit comedy throughout this and doesn't at all throw off the balance. It's almost a magical balancing act that this movie does. I can remember watching it in the theater when it came out and the audience laughing. We're going to talk a few times about some of these.
I also pointing out that the horror movie, there is, for PG, right? PG, there is outright gore.
Yes.
In this movie, and it is gore.
And it gets a little intense. We're going to talk near the end.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah. So let's get into it, Eric. Here.
All right, let's do it.
So this is the movie opens with the national anthem. That's its opening music. Yeah. And
we're too young to remember when TVs would shut off.
We're too young for that. No.
Yeah. This TV stopped working.
And it really would be, they would do something like the national anthem or America the Beautiful at the end of the night. And I love this. It has that montage of like national monuments and things. But what I like the way they introduce it, it starts with just very close up with the static, with the images and the lines we used to have on the TV. So you're not actually sure what you're looking at the first time you see the movie. And it finally comes into focus. Oh, it's the Iwo Jima statue. And then I love that it just, right, once that last note of the national anthem ends, whoosh, static across the TV screen. It's out.
Yes, and you're already unnerved a little bit for some reason. The shots are great. I think this is is this the dog?
Well,
right?
That's what's great. We're going to be introduced to the whole family here.
Yes.
In basically a couple of minutes.
You don't need any of that extra crap. It's just the dog's journey to introduce every member of the family. I love the Craig T. Nelson, right? He's in the chair, slumped to sleep. But I love when the dog goes to the teenager's room, Dana's room, and he takes the chips. And every single time, because I have kids, watching that dog pull the chips the wrong way and it gets all over the bed. All I can think of is, chips. And now that has to be washed. There's chip oil all over the bed.
Yeah. I love the dog in this movie. I know we always talk about the dogs. I love him. He looks exactly like the dog in Humanoids from the Deep, I have to say, which is another movie that Eric and I covered. He's the exact same type of dog.
Yeah, like a golden retriever type
Yeah,
of dog, right?
He was very popular back then.
Maybe they're easily trainable.
It could be the same dog for all we know. It really could.
We'll follow the dog's career in the movies.
I know. And so, we see that you mentioned Dana, the teenage daughter. Then we have the younger kid in the family, young boy. Mm-hmm. And then we have Carol Ann. We're introduced to Carol Ann. And she wakes up as if she's hearing something. And
Yeah.
she comes down the steps. It's great lighting. We're going to talk a lot about the lighting in this movie. I know
Are
you
we?
don't like when I get too much into this
Are
stuff.
we?
But that flickering of the television light on the whole scene in the house
Yep.
just sets a great mood for this movie. I think it works. She comes down and starts talking to the TV.
Yes, she does. It's like, yes. I've been trying to do my Caroline voice. Uh-huh. Oh, no. Oh, no.
And I want to get into the details of that little conversation. It is eerie, even today, the way she's talking to that TV. Because what is it asking her when she says, I don't know? It's so eerie. You're like, what is it asking her? What are the questions that it's saying? And that's when she starts to talk louder. She wants it to talk louder. And the whole family wakes up and they're just kind of looking at her. And the famous thing is this, she puts her hands on the TV screen. It's a great iconic shot.
How many times, Art, have they duplicated this scene or this version of the scene where it's just an iconic? You're like, hey, what's that movie with the little girl or her hands on the static TV? Even if you don't know the movie, it's an iconic thing that people keep repeating. And they made static on a TV scary. They made it scary.
And this is not to sort of emphasize it too much. Already right here, Eric, your note about this seems like a Spielberg film. The way the family is shot as they're sort of approaching in the static and seeing her on the TV, the way it's framed and the way he's following the camera has them converging. You're like, okay, feels like Steven Spielberg is directing this movie.
There you go, Art. You just can't stop.
I can't stop it. I can't stop.
What does your therapist say? What does your therapist say about this?
Therapist says I am overly concerned with the details of filmmaking, and that we should enter couples counseling for our podcast.
Oh my God, yes.
Imagine that.
And Art, how do you feel about whether or not anyone gives a shit who directed it?
We each have our legal pads with the lists of things we've written out on.
Yeah, and we'd be answering like, I don't know. Yes. I don't know. Here's what I want to point out, because you're filmmaking, you notice all this stuff too, is the set. It is a lived-in house, and it is almost an overly lived-in house because they really put detail on the things you probably won't see unless, of course, you're doing trivia like us or you do a deep dive. So I've noticed that now I can't unsee it. Is almost everywhere in the house there is a heart of some kind.
I didn't notice that.
Yep. Now it sticks out like a ghost in a closet.
It sticks out like a ghost in the closet.
Like a tree branch through the window.
Like a tree branch through my kid's window.
I don't know why I'm talking like
it through the kid's window.
But yeah, there's hearts everywhere.
We should just do the podcast with me and Zelda, like you're
oh God,
do the whole thing.
And if I really did it with helium, I'd have to go to the hospital.
Right.
Yeah. So I loved all the detail in this movie to the sets. And
yeah,
stuff.
and then we're going to move on. This is the part of the movie we're going to establish sort of suburbia, right? We're in suburbia. It cuts to the hill, the mountains, and we're going to see scenes of sort of suburban life, this family's life. Yeah.
Yep. So you and I both said, oh, we might not talk about some scenes. So I don't know what comes before this. One of my there's so many favorite moments, but we see a guy racing towards the family's house on a bike way too small for him. He's like your typical slightly overweight football dad, and he's got, what, a 12-pack?
If not a 24-pack under his arm. So he's got one hand on the bicycle and he's pedaling down the streets. And Eric, I do want to say what's great about it is it's introduced from high above, so we just see the bike, and you would think it's E.T., and we're going to be seeing a young kid racing through the neighborhood. It's a great reveal that it's this guy, and he's sweaty, and
he's definitely trying to get somewhere, and there's some evil kids on the sidewalk with their skateboards and automatic, the remote control cars.
He goes by them, and then the cars take off after him, and you know what's coming. And they cross in front of the bike, and the bike, and what I love is that it creates such mayhem because the cans rupture, so they're spraying. How do the props people, I wonder how they did this, because the spray kind of continues for a long time. He's going up the driveway with them because he wants to get in and see the game.
Yes, he keeps losing beers as he goes. My thought was like, oh my gosh, he's just wasted so much money. And I was watching the scene. My daughter Finley happened to be there, and she's like, Dad, that's amazing prop where the beer keeps spraying out. And I keep thinking when they finally get into the living room because they're watching a football game, the mess, the beer is spraying all over.
Well, what I love about that, Eric, is so he goes into the house and there's a bunch of guys watching the game. And they all kind of have personalities, all these people. We're not really going to see them again through the rest of the movie. This is what I love about movies, is when they have a bunch of people. And they're all kind of, the spray is continuing while they're watching the game. So they've got to kind of wave it away from their hands. And it's just a kind of a fun way to introduce. This is obviously a Saturday. Everybody's, doing things. Then it's I remembered this from the first time I saw it in the movie theater. All of a sudden, at a high point of the game, Mr. Rogers flips onto the TV. And even without seeing this movie for years, I could tell you there's a guy's line who goes, "Who the hell is this?" And the audience, I remember them just bursting into laughter at that moment.
Yeah,
and this is
he
also
has no idea who Mr. Rogers is.
But Eric, this is also another thing. We're old enough to remember remotes like this.
Yes.
Like
Holy
it
crap.
was.
What is this, like the senior pod? Welcome to the senior
I know.
podcast.
But you had
Holy
a remote,
shit.
and it could sometimes your remote could activate other things, like
Other things.
get on other frequencies. Yeah.
That's why when people say, "Oh, I don't know why this light went off," like even today, when my kids say, "Oh, I don't know what happened. This just switched." I'm like, it's because remote. It's trying to get signals from everything. But also the remotes didn't have every single channel. You had to kind of click around. Remember, it was like 3, 5, 7, 25. So yeah, it gets to Mr. Rogers because the neighbor is. My kids want to watch. What does he say? My kids want to watch Mr. Rogers or something.
Yeah. So they're warring with their remote controls. And also, I think it's supposed to establish, Eric, because he leans out his window and the neighbor sort of leans out his door, and they're very close together, these houses. They're showing It's just a fence, basically.
Yeah.
And then these houses are sort of right next to each other, these
Yeah,
developments.
for those of you who haven't watched this movie, which is impossible. Yeah, it's very suburbia. Houses are cookie cutter. Just what do you call that? When somebody builds a whole neighborhood, it's
like a big subdivision.
Yeah, subdivision. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like move your set, you move yours, and it's click, 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 click.
And so that's all going on now. But then also, we're going to have a death here. One of our first deaths in the movie.
Yes, and I want to point out our only death in this horror movie.
That's
the
a good
only
point.
body count is the bird, Tweety.
Tweety bird.
Yes. And you
Yeah.
get an idea. This is in the room. The kids, here's the thing, Art. I don't know if you picked up on this, but the guy, Craig T. Nelson, who's awesome in this, is a real estate agent, so to speak. And he started, this is the first house. So he's got to have some money, right?
Well, they mentioned early. We're going to find out later in the movie that his real estate agency, they mentioned some big numbers as far as how many houses that he has sold in these developments. It's
Right.
huge.
So
I
you
think
gotta
they
have
I think
some
they
money.
said he's responsible for $500 million or something
like
back
40%
then.
of the houses or
Yeah.
75%.
Yeah.
But yet his kids sleep in one bedroom.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I thought,
Dana, I think the teenager has her own room, and then the two younger kids, right?
yeah.
That's how our house was in
But Art, you
when I
weren't a
grew up.
real estate mogul.
No, that's true.
No. So that was interesting. The second thing I thought was interesting about the room, interesting, that's fast. Interesting. You can tell how excited I am. It's so interesting. Is the amount of memorabilia in this kid's room with frickin' Star Wars, Alien, but mostly Star Wars. Let's not go there, Art. We're not going there that Steven Spielberg is friends with George Lucas, and maybe there was something going on where they're like, you know what? Let's put some of your... Okay, we don't care who directed the movie.
I love this because now I don't even have to bring it up. You like to bring it up preemptively.
You did this to me. This is the therapy we're talking about. You did this to me. He did this to me.
No, but also I will mention that Steven Spielberg often throughout movies, even when he's producing whatever, he does like to bring in what is actually very present and modern for kids in the movie. So, like in Goonies, they're playing video games, right? It's
And
like,
lo and behold, still holds up because who still doesn't have Art, you still sleep with a C3PO duvet cover, don't you? Think.
Right.
Oh, Tweety's dead.
Tweety's dead. And Carol Ann, I think the mom just wants to flush it down the toilet, but Carol Ann catches her. So we got to have a nice little funeral for Tweety Bird, and it is very affecting. Like, we haven't really talked about Carol Ann yet in detail, but I think it's very interesting because she's sort of the younger version of what Drew Barrymore is giving us in E.T. This would have been, what was her character's name? Gertie, right? In E.T. This is Gertie maybe a few years younger, right?
Yes. And for those trivia hounds, this deep dive spoiler podcast is that Spielberg couldn't hire Drew Barrymore because he didn't think she was innocent enough. So he found this girl, and the girl failed multiple times at the audition, and then finally he got it out of her. So I thought, wow, that's devotion to casting somebody.
Can see that. Watching it now with our sort of midnight cinema goggles on, and I'm looking at everything, there are some things she hits and some things it seems like she's just saying lines. And I don't mean that to disparage this young actress who does a really good job.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. But
she was being, there were parts where like, oh, they told her to keep her eyes closed.
But this is really lovely and affecting when it's sweet when she has her licorice. She has her licorice in her mouth, and she's like, "Don't do that. Put a little blanket in there."
When he's hungry,
she gives all these things.
When he's hungry, for when he's lonely, and when it's nighttime.
Yeah, and this is important story-wise because what they're doing here, is they're very much associating Carol Ann with taking care of people when they're going into the afterlife. This is obviously a theme that they're hitting here.
And also that she has a big heart. Hearts everywhere. What's going on?
Right.
It's also alluding to the fact, because we've seen this movie, everybody. So if you haven't, well, you know what? Amazon Prime's waiting.
I don't know why you're listening to us. Go watch the movie.
Yeah, right now. But they're alluding to bodies and unearthing bodies and stuff. Really, really good. So when you watch it again, you're like, oh, there we go.
Yeah,
and they bury Tweety.
Yeah. So they bury Tweety. Great shot of the dog sitting next to him. It still gives me laughs. They give a close up on the dog, and he licks his lips as they're putting the dirt over the thing. We know he's going to start digging, and he does. He starts immediately. They don't have the dirt over Tweety for 2 seconds.
Well, 6 feet.
Yeah,
that's the limit.
And at this point, also, the young boy is climbing the tree, looking down over this. So he's climbing up that tree, which is really eerie, this tree here. I live in California now, and you don't see a lot of trees like this in California in these subdivisions, but this one is there. Yeah.
That one is there because it's the oldest tree. They mentioned that. Also, again, I said again, Finley was watching it with me, and she said, "Oh, the tree looks fake." And I said, "Yes, but it looks so fake that it's real, where you just think, oh, this is not a regular tree. This is it's dead. It's completely dead. It's got wicked, crazy branches. It's got a face on it. And if you look closely, when the kid's climbing it, you can see where its mouth is.
Mm-hmm.
You can see oh, that's the mouth. Which reminds me kind of we'll talk about it later, but it reminds me of Beaker. Beaker's mouth is the tree's mouth.
Yeah.
I'm going way ahead, but
it's got kind of bulges where it looks almost like frog eyes off to the side.
Yeah, reminiscent of a whomping willow almost.
We see the different reactions of the kids. Dana's sort of like, ugh, and then the kid is like, can we dig up the bones once it's all rotted and look at them? And so yeah, Tweety's under there, and then we're gonna see what it's like at night around here. The kid looks off, he sees the clouds coming over the horizon. It's kind of a nice shot. I think they're using special effects
80s clouds, right? Yeah, the special effects cloud are a little on the 80s side, but you enjoy it. It's very Indiana Jones kind of style.
Yeah. It's still far off in the distance. And then we're getting to see the family at night. We get to see Craig T. Nelson and Jo Beth Williams hanging out.
One of my favorite scenes. My wife, I still do it with my wife when they're getting stoned, which I love because they're like 30
PG
They're in
movie,
their
and they're getting
Yeah.
the parents are getting stoned. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love the before. I'm going to do it. Ready?
Yep.
It's the before, after. Before, after, before, after. It's one of my before, after thing.
And apparently he improvised. That was his little contribution there. Craig T. Nelson, this is early for him. We're going to know him forever, right? The guy had went on to a great career, but he was a Groundlings performer. That was his training. Yeah. And
he's so good. They're so good together as a couple.
Mhm.
Joe Beth Williams and Craig T. Nelson. Just you feel like they are a couple. They're still in love. And little bits of trivia is I do want to also mention that Dana is from a first marriage. So Dana's Craig T. Nelson's daughter, and then they spawned 2 puppies with this new marriage. So, which I kind of like. It's a very real relationship where he's remarried, and so their spark is all still new, and they're still goofing and all that.
Yeah,
so,
I did make a note that this isn't a couple. We don't feel at the start of this movie like it would be easy to make it that this movie is like, okay, they're in the grind of. They're still very much in love and very much having fun.
Scene.
They're having fun.
Yeah, not like us, Art. We're not in love anymore.
Yeah, oh boy, it's been years since that's. And the kids are getting ready for bed, trying to go to sleep, but that storm's coming in.
Made me count thunderstorms from now on because the dad comes in, and he's not a deadbeat dad, clearly. He comes in and tells them if you count, when the lightning flashes, if you count, and then the thunder goes off, you can see how many miles away it is. And he said, and you'll see it just keeps going away. And they're like, 1. And this is where in my memory, was 1,000. But it's not that. They just go 1. You too?
Yes. I had in my memory 1,000, but it's not. They just count.
Yep.
1,
and,
2, 3.
The guy in Monopoly doesn't have a monocle. That's another thing. Everybody doesn't have a monocle. Look it up. It's not.
And Dolly in Moonraker doesn't have braces.
Nope, doesn't have braces. Look it up. Play it again, Sam. Wrong. Okay. So, but it's really, really cool because you can see, and that freaking creepy tree right outside the window. Close the drapes, kid. Really, give me a break.
Yeah. So
scary ass tree.
We also get introduced to somebody sitting in the chair in the bedroom over on the side. We get introduced to him. The product of a lot of nightmares, I think. This figure. And this is where the way that clown looks, this is reminding me of a little Toby Hooper here, like Funhouse and everything. It reminded me of that when I'm watching it with that lens on, looking at it. I was like, okay, why would somebody have this in that room, Eric?
And Art, why would they put it on a rocking chair facing their bed at night? If the kid doesn't like that freaky clown, and I said that freaking clown because that's what I call it, put it away. Get rid of that thing. You got C-3PO and Darth Vader. You don't need this piece of shit. It is, and it's got teeth. It's got freaking 1,000 teeth. Oh my gosh.
It reminds me of that Simpson episode where he built a clown bed for his kid. And then it looked horrifying. And then he turns off the light and he says to Bart, now you can laugh yourself to sleep. But I'd be scared to get rid of it because I'm scared it would come back.
Yeah, and it's got those oversized arms and legs. It's like, what is it? You wrap it around yourself like to hold it? What is with this clown?
So he does a logical thing and he throws his jacket over the clown.
Yes. And it's Chewbacca's face.
So he's thinking that'll make him safe, right? But they're counting out the thunder, and then one of the counts doesn't make sense. The thunder, boom, and they just hard cut to all the kids in the bed. That's a great. Yes. It's a funny moment,
except for Dana.
No, except for Dana. But
Dana's underused, don't you think that the teenager was kind of underused?
Yeah, I wonder. I didn't look into this too much, Eric, but I wonder if there were probably more scenes with her or something. We should say Dana is played by the actor Dominique Dunne.
Here it comes.
No.
Go ahead, Debbie Downer. Go ahead.
Well, Dominique Dunne is the daughter of Dominic Dunne, a famous writer, and she ended up not lasting too long after this movie.
Nope.
She was
very sad.
Murdered.
Strangled, right?
Yeah, strangled. Right out in front of her house.
Yeah.
It was really not a good scene. It's too bad. She had a great career ahead of her, I think.
Yep.
She's really
not
good in
part
this
of
movie.
Either. Yeah. I think the person who directed the movie, which is Steven Spielberg said, "Oh yeah, when you're 21, I'm going to buy you a drink. I'll get you your drink." Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's another creepy thing, and maybe you're right, Art. Maybe there were more scenes with the daughter because they make the daughter out. Don't know if you noticed this, but they kind of make the daughter out to be a little, I don't know what the right word is, promiscuous.
Well, there's a very
seems-
famous shot near the end.
Yeah, but
when
she
she
seems
comes.
to be promiscuous because she's mentioning like dates and boys and things a lot, but she's not sleeping in the bed.
No.
And it's late at night, so the TV, right? Going off.
TV goes off with the national anthem, and Carol Ann's creeping up at it's like almost like a strobe light when they keep showing the room, and she
Really
creeps up
good.
to the end of the bed, gets on the floor. She goes over to the TV and starts talking to it again, and she reaches out her hand, and this got me again because I haven't seen the movie in a long time. A ghostly hand jumps out of the TV and nearly gets her hand, and it's an interesting effect. I think it's visual effect that they made, but it looks like a skeleton hand, but it's also mist.
Yeah.
And it's good.
Yeah, I think you nailed that. It's a ghostly, mist, skeletal type of hand. It's it kind of reminds me a little bit of sort of Evil Deadish type of thing. And that's a jump scare. Yeah, jump scare. And then it does a weird thing where it starts gathering up all this very Indiana Jones kind of, when it, don't look at it. It shoots this big light and it goes into the wall behind them in the bed.
Above the family.
shaking.
Yeah. It's like an earthquake. They think it's an earthquake
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
And they all wake up. And this is the iconic line. She turns back to them from the TV.
I'm going to let you do it because I want to hear you do it.
They're here. But she doesn't say it like that.
No, that was close, Art. I think
Yeah.
you did
I
it.
do think it's ADR when I look at it.
Yeah.
I do think they basically put her in a booth and made her do it 100 times
Absolutely.
to make sure that they got
Yeah.
the right one. Because it
Yeah,
doesn't quite match her lips, right?
Nope. If you watch this
Okay.
too many times like we do, it's like here you go. You do there, here, and I'll mouth it. Go.
Okay. They're here. But yeah, it's a great moment. And then we're going to start to see escalation of things. Weird things are going to start happening starting the next morning.
Yep. And then we want to point out that they're they're putting a pool in the backyard. So they're digging this in-ground pool, right?
So you have construction workers now out front. It turns into the money pit, basically, or something.
Yep.
These construction workers are giving us a lot of mustard on their performances.
Yep. Bird's grave doesn't last long because it gets dug up
Right away.
right away.
Important to note.
Yep.
Graves being
Yep.
dug up. And in the next morning, they're having breakfast. I will say the kids seem really natural around this table. The way Carol Ann and the brother, the way that they're acting, I just think it does seem very natural and real. What do you think?
Yes, I agree that because you can't direct, you couldn't have directed that scene and given them dialogue. So it's the teenager kind of being snarky. And then I think that's where it happens. Like, you're a barf bag. You're a doggy bag. Like she didn't know what she was saying. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So I think it's great. You see what a loving mom she is and stuff. So I
And we should mention that a glass suddenly just breaks while one of the kids is holding it. It just pops the glass open. And I did rewind it because I'm like, how did they do that? Because it seems like the glass just, I don't know how they did it, but it kind of broke on cue.
I've broken many a glass here at my house, not on purpose, in a drunken stupor. No, don't say that part. But the glass, what I notice about the glass is that when it breaks, it's a jagged bottom.
Mhm.
Glasses don't break like that. They do sort of a split. So I could tell that they probably had a pre-cut glass and then they do some kind of like doink and pull it and break it. But it's still great because who's paying attention to that except for us, Art? Except for
I
us.
know. That's
Scrutinizing.
well, people who
Toby
listen to this
Hooper's-
podcast, this is what they're listening for. Our JFK assassination like obsession with little things like that.
If you look closely, yeah.
And so we're seeing that they all finish breakfast, and Robbie, the young boy, is there, and I love it. He picks up a spoon off his plate,
Yes.
and the spoon is bent, and then he picks up a fork and it's the same way. Like the
you're
things
what
are
the
bent.
hell? And here's one of my discusses throughout the movie, knowing now what's going on. I watch it and I go, okay, who is doing this? Because there's two entities. One is a group of people, spoilers, ghosts. So we got ghosts, and they're kind of interfering, not in a scary way necessarily. And then we've got what we come to know as the beast, right? So the beast does these horrific things. So when I think of the spoon bending, I go, okay, so this is people just making themselves known by goofing with the kid. Like making this, I always need to do that. Like, why is this happening in a movie? You know, with a horror movie, it's like, wait, why is the ghost taunting them before it? Like, why is it walking behind them? Nobody can see you, ghost.
Well, I think that, if we look at poltergeists, what we know them in the popular culture, and this is the name of the movie.
Poltergeist, yeah.
It literally translates to like noisy ghost, rumbly ghost, I think it translates to.
I'm sorry, I looked at, I looked up differently. Ass wind. Because it's a lot of blowing of
we're gonna
air. I thought it was ass wind. Das ist ein Asswind. No, wow, it's way off. So it's what?
A noisy ghost, and the idea is that, and we're gonna get this in this film, right? Poltergeists are usually associated with people, whereas ghosts are associated with a place. Is that what we're meant to believe?
Well, haunting is a place, and poltergeist is people.
Usually in poltergeist cases, it's an adolescent female is usually involved. Like when we think about famous poltergeist cases like the Enfield poltergeist.
Did not know that.
Yeah, they're usually associated with that, and something with maybe the young women that they're coming of age attracts these demonish poltergeists. But they tend to not be in real life scary as much as, like you said, little things start happening. They're the type of thing where somebody's like, I heard rattling in my kitchen and I came down and there was nothing there and it was going on for nights,
Gosh, you just reminded me. That's when this movie came out and it was Poltergeist. I was just so excited. I'm like, well, Poltergeist, what are they going to do? And they delivered, man. They delivered.
And so I'm going to go back to just tie it into what you're saying. So my thoughts as the movie goes on is that we have ghosts and a poltergeist. But when I first saw this movie, Dana is sort of the age that a traditional poltergeist would start to come into a house. So when I was first watching this, because I used to watch like In Search Of, remember that with Leonard Nimoy?
Yes.
And they had episodes on Poltergeist, and they mentioned that. So when I first started watching this, I was like, ooh, the daughter, Dana, is the one that the poltergeist is there for. But really, it's going to be Carol Ann, as we figure out as this goes on.
Carol Ann, the heart of the house.
But these ghosts are having fun, which we're going to see here, Eric, with the chairs, the famous chairs that we all remember from this movie. It's such a great shot. It's such an amazing thing.
Here's where you can, look, I'm pointing with this pen because here's where you can see that practical effects can work so much better and you can appreciate it so much more. The practical effect where the chairs are stretched out away from the table, which I thought very clever because it's easy to move. You see the mom go 7 seconds. It's one shot. It's not a cut. And then 7 seconds later, she goes back. The chairs are all inexplicably stacked like a pyramid. And here's what I love. It's a practical effect. So the guys, I would love to have heard the ADR on this, the onset sounds where she goes to open up the cabinet and you hear all the people getting rid of the chairs. Okay, go. Quick, get it. Put it up. Okay, get out.
Yeah,
That's great. And it's a startling moment.
Mm-hmm. It really is. It takes your breath away when you see it the first time. So simple. There's no ghosts, no gore, no anything. But the mom is takes this as she's kind of fascinated by it.
She's a little bit of a hippie, if that's still a thing. She's kind of like, man, cool, man, a little bit.
Yeah. So, we're also seeing, like you mentioned, Dana flirting with the construction workers.
This is a little cringy because that one guy who I believe this guy is in The Prophecy. This guy who's like, whoa, whatever he's saying, oh baby, whatever, and her flipping him off. At least she has that.
Yep.
Because it's a different movie
It's great.
when you watch it with your daughter. Because my daughter, 21, she's like, oh my God, misogynistic asshole. And I'm like, yep, I'll watch what she does. So little redeeming.
Yeah, that is great. She kind of, she does almost like the Macarena.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
She puts her hands out and then it ends up with her flipping her off and they're all like, hey. And the construction workers are leaning in the window, tasting the sauce that's on the counter.
You make good coffee.
Yeah.
What was
But
his
he
name?
takes the spoon. I think he takes the spoon out of the sauce and he tastes the sauce.
Yes.
It's great. And she just lowers the blinds. Like, it's kind of it is genuinely kind of funny, but it's kind of over the top. What's going on.
And his name is over the top. There's like, not Bert, but it's some name. You're like, what did she just call him? Like Bart?
And then, nothing to really spend much time on, but we're also seeing it cuts to Craig T. Nelson. We're getting the idea he's a real estate agent. He's showing a house to another couple. And the way they do it is they crossfade from the kitchen of their house to an empty house where he's coming in with a family. It looks exactly the same as theirs, except it's not lived in, like you said. And he's introducing the house. Yeah.
It's the exposition that is required.
It is.
So
And
we know that he has the first house in the neighborhood, and he says his daughter was born in the house, not Dana. Is that his first wife?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're getting a little bit of exposition here about that.
And then when he
I'm not sure this information is important or not.
No, but he comes home and Jo Beth Williams is super excited to show him everything that's going on. I love this, that she's not scared, Eric. She's excited.
Yeah.
And shows him that the chair can slide across the floor. He looks skeptical.
He is. And Craig T. Nelson, you talked about, the reason why I want to add that is because you talked about he's improv actor and has done improv. He's taken the trash barrel and she pulls him. He doesn't let go of the goddamn trash barrel until he gets to the kitchen and the doorway stops him. He has to let go. I thought, so fun. Just a little bit of fun there.
And I wonder if he did that. He kept holding on.
Had to have done that.
And he goes over, but I love the acting in this movie. He goes over and he picks up the chair to clearly see, oh, there's a wire. There's got to be a wire and she's fooling around with me. And seeing his thought life as an actor, seeing it when he wipes under and he's realizing there's no wire. Loved a little. I don't want to go into all those moments. There's so many in this movie. We could spend 5 hours. But I just want to say there's a lot of stuff like that in this movie that I really admired and appreciated.
It's very real moments. And speaking of real, you already said wire. So practical effects again. If you guys don't want to hear about it, then shut it off for 45 to 75 seconds. But very simple. The floor has lines in it. One of those lines is where the chair is attached. And they just pull the chair from below on one leg, and it goes all the way attached. And you, of course, have been in Galloso Museum Theater in the Scary Show. And we do the same thing with the table. We have a thing that pulls the table back with one leg, and it just slides along the floor. And people still go, oh, yep. And it's a simple effect. And I loved it. And they both get the daughter. They put on the little football helmet. Who's the you're into football, right? What's the team? Because I
think it was the Rams.
The Rams, okay.
Yeah. They were in Los Angeles at that time.
I was like, I think that's the Rams, but I didn't know. But great scene in the table and the circle on the floor. Really nice stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And so and once again, I know I keep saying this, that she's not really scared at this point. She is excited. And what is all this going on?
Doesn't. You said he's a little skeptical. She goes, I think the line is, dig back into your past. Remember when you used to have an open mind? But she's because she did it herself, right? She said, oh, it pulls you. So she did this. She's not just using her daughter as a experiment. She did it as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And she explains it as, I love her explanation. It's like fingers are tickling you, and then you feel like it pulls you across the floor. And it's all very, this is the part of the screenplay, a movie structure where they call it fun and games. This is the fun and games.
Oh, really?
At the beginning of a movie. Yeah.
Really?
No, but it's where what if a poltergeist really was in your house, and what are the things that would happen? But we're going to start to see now that it's not so good
No,
when you have weird things happening.
I'm sure you're like, what happened here? But this cut to the neighbors, where we get introduced to the neighbors, what happens there? They're in the kitchen, and then there's this like, frick, there's this weird cut to the neighbor's house.
Yeah,
What is
because
that?
they're going over to the neighbor who we've met earlier. They were the ones fighting with the remote control.
Yeah.
And I think they're wanting to ask them, is anything weird like this going on in
Yes,
your
yeah.
house?
One of my favorite scenes, just the cut from one scene to the
Yeah.
other.
It's
so-
rough. It's like
Yes.
it's almost like Eric, they cut something out, but like right before they ship the movie to the theaters, they're like, this movie's got to be in 2,000 theaters next week. And so
Something.
this is the last cut we're doing in the movie.
Something like that happened. But this one of my favorite scenes. There's so many favorite scenes. I love the scene where there's mosquitoes, goddamn mosquitoes out there. And my favorite lines in this movie is where he goes, I don't think the neighbors asked if he's ever been bit by mosquitoes. He's like, I don't think anyone in my family's ever been bothered by him. And he turns to his little pudgy kid. He goes, Skeeter ever suck on you, son? And the kid goes, I don't know, Dad. And he goes, you don't know. Skeeter ever suck on you, son? I don't know, Dad.
And I believe that they start laughing, Joe Beth Williams and Craig T. Nelson. And the actors confirmed they did kind of a recap very recently of the movie on one of its anniversaries. In Vanity Fair, there's an extensive interview with Joe Beth Williams and Craig T. Nelson about the movie. And they talk about this scene. And they said that the swatting themselves for mosquitoes, because there's clearly no mosquitoes there, it's a movie. That is what actually started them laughing like that, the two of them having to mime getting hit by mosquitoes. It's one of those things that you can't stop laughing as an actor with your scene partner. And that's what started it. And they couldn't stop it. But apparently the directors, everybody liked it like this because it's so
It's a great
funny.
Because
Yeah.
she swats herself in the neck, and Greg T. Nelson instantly remembering this mosquito goes like stuffs himself in the face.
And so they said they couldn't stop laughing.
a
And I
great scene.
think what they mentioned in this interview, Eric, was they said years after, everybody always asked them, because we saw you guys smoking pot earlier in the movie, your characters, was the idea that you came to the door and you were stoned to have this come. And they said, no, this just happened. That wasn't the setup of the scene or anything.
Yeah, and I
So-
didn't see it like that. I thought it was so awkward to ask your neighbors if they've seen any furniture moving, that they're just laughing because it's such a hilarious thing to ask, and especially because they don't even like this neighbor.
Yes.
They clearly do not like this neighbor.
Yeah.
They don't like each other. It's that next door neighbor. You're like, shoot.
Yeah, and so they're all, and so now tonight, it's nighttime's rolled in again, and we're getting another storm cloud coming in.
Yep.
Another
You
big
see it
storm
rolling
cloud.
in, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it looks more ominous than the one from the previous day.
Yep.
This looks a little more ominous. But our Robbie, the young kid, he knows what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to count those things, right?
Yep. This is great. The movie just scares you right away. It's like, and remember we were talking about jump scares before, and I think in Humanoids from the Deep, I was like, I got a bunch of jump scares. So I'm calling these attacks. So
Yeah.
what we have now is tree attack.
Yes. And it happened this watch through, Eric. I'm like, oh, this happens faster than I thought it does.
Yeah.
I thought there would be like a lot more buildup here. So Carol Ann's over on her bed and he's on his bed and he's counting, and they do a shot onto the tree of the lightning, with the tree, and then the tree's arms sort of drop. It's animated all of a sudden, and it just comes through the window, the two tree branches, and they're long and they're coming through. And the first time you see this movie, I don't think you expect this, that the tree is actually coming to life and going to come through the window.
Yeah, why would you? I mean, they make the tree ominous and scary, but you're not thinking, oh, this tree's going to come to life and kidnap the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a great shot, practical effects. And so here's the analysis of what's going on here. Just so you know, is the tree, in my opinion, is not the ghosts. This is the beast, and the beast is grabbing the kid to distract everybody.
It does this a few times in the movie. I think it does. It does this type
crazy
of thing.
Beast.
It's a very, very tricky beast.
Yeah, but grabs the kid and
clever girl.
Oh yes,
Clever girl.
and another iconic scene while they're all racing to save the kid. Another thing is an attack, tornado attack. We got tree attack, then we got a tornado coming.
Yes, out in the neighborhood. And I think where you're going here is the closet door opens with the
closet attack.
Little reminiscent of Close Encounters, which had come out a few years with the famous shot of the door opening with the young kid with the red light behind it.
Is it directed by Tobe Hooper?
Yeah, Close Encounters famously directed by Tobe Hooper.
Very reminiscent. Yeah.
Very reminiscent. And it's a great shot, Eric. I know you noticed this, and I'm like, wow, they did this really well. I wonder if they tilted the floor. It's an overhead shot, and stuff starts coming out from under Carol Ann's bed.
Yes.
So we get that just gives us the idea that things are being sucked towards the closet. But it's just this little thing, and I'm like, oh, did they tilt the floor and those things slide? Or did they have them all? There was a lot of things on wires. But whatever it was, it's a great shot.
It was amazing. Big light coming from the closet, everything getting sucked in there. And this is why, Art, you do not have glitter in the house. Did you see the amount of glitter in that bedroom? What the hell happened there? Was it a snow globe that broke or something?
Well, she maybe does crafts or something.
My God, don't bring glitter in the house. It's an outside craft.
So yeah, they're all outside trying to rescue Robbie from the tree. And as an audience member, you're like, no, Carol Ann's like all by herself in that bedroom.
Well, it's a big freaking killer tree, Art. You're not thinking that the closet is also trying to suck your kid into the abyss.
I know. Yeah.
And the tree's eating. This is the beaker style tree that I love. It's got a mouth like this, right? So it's got a mouth like this. It's a great scene that the tree's trying to eat the kid.
And Craig T. Nelson said that the tree looked great, but he got all banged up doing the stunt because he said, "What? It's this rubber tree, but the details they put on it, like the thorny stuff, was not rubber. Those were actually rock hard." And he said, so he's climbing the rubber tree, but he's getting torn to shreds by the little thorny things that are on it. And he said,
"Shut up, Craig, you big baby."
I know. So yeah, so Carol Ann's going in, and they go upstairs, and they're looking for her actually around the house. Yeah.
Practical effects. Well, how did you feel about she's got a wicker bed?
Yes.
And then
fantastic.
She gets sucked into the closet. Yes, it's clearly a puppet, but you're not thinking it looks so good. She's got a piece of the bed and she's going into the closet. Imagine, Art, if this was done now, which they already ruined it with a second one, which I watched not recently, but nothing new there. Imagine if they did a CG of her going into the closet. You wouldn't give a shit. But you're watching this actual object, which is Carol Ann, our little girl, going into the closet. Very practical effect. I would not swap that out for CG. I think it's amazing shot. Amazing shot.
And there's a lot of that in this movie.
No, just that.
The rest
of the movie sucks.
So the family is realizing after they've successfully rescued Robbie, who's covered in like mud, but it's goopy and like reddish slime. It's this really icky stuff that Robbie is around his face.
Yeah, I was trying to think of what it looks like, and it almost looks like after a turkey sits for a while, like Thanksgiving turkey.
Yes,
and then
like the coagulated fat on a on or something, or
gross,
and a chicken, and
yeah,
and they're running around the house because they're like, Carol Ann. They're running around, and then they realize the pool. Maybe she fell into the pool, so they're Craig T. Nelson, poor guy, is getting torn up by the tree on the chute, and then he's diving in this muddy pool, which I think you probably read. They use peat to make that muddy pool, which starts to smell, peat moss. Peat starts to smell after a while. So he's diving in that pool, and they go upstairs, and Robbie is right. He's kind of going around, and they're trying to figure it out. But they open up the closet. This is the scene, right? And all the stuff is in the closet. They're in the room and they're tearing everything away. And they get down to, there's a sheet over something that looks like a body.
Yes, and
And-
it's Carol Ann's corpse, stripped of the flesh. No?
No.
No?
No,
Well,
it's a good.
Hooper directed it. It would have been that.
Well, they tear it off, and it's the clown.
It's a great thing, but you can tell love these actors. She takes the clown and she's so frustrated. She picks up the clown and slams it back down. And I think that wasn't scripted. I don't think they said, hey, I want you to pick it. She just, as a mom, was like, oh, you son of a bitch, like so upset that she thought it was her daughter's corpse. So really, really cool. But Carol Ann's nowhere to be found.
And then Robbie is covered in the goop. His eyes are like dish plates. He's walking around, and he goes in the bedroom where there's that weird hole above the bed, where the thing shot into.
Yeah.
But they don't really do anything with that too much.
Mm-mm.
But he hears, that's when he turns towards the TV's got static on it.
Yeah, wait. I don't know if I can do it or not. Is that all right? I see I'm sound like Beaker.
It's a great sound design because it's almost like a whoosh behind it, and it comes in. So they're hearing her, and they're realizing Caroline's in the TV. She's in the static or in this plane.
Yep.
And here's what I'm going to say, Eric, is this. What I like about this movie's efficiency is they just cut right now to them talking to the investigators at the university, the paranormal investigators. We don't go through, where is Carol Ann? Is it weeks? Because I think they say weeks that she's been missing at some
Eventually,
point
I think
later.
there's talk of time. It's like a week.
But they just cut right to, we're going here. And it reminds me, I read something once, a screenwriter who got to work with Steven Spielberg on a project that I don't think ever got made. But what he said is, when Steven Spielberg got involved with the project, the script was about a family that gets exposed to nuclear waste, but they start to develop superpowers because they got exposed to this nuclear waste. And it was sort of a family fun superhero adventure thing. And they had a whole section where once they started developing these powers, obviously the media comes in, the media is interviewing them, and the government wants to be involved. And there's this whole section. And Steven Spielberg just said to them, don't ever get the media involved. Don't ever bring the press into your movie, because it just takes you off track, because you start thinking, well, what about the ramifications of that? And or law enforcement, he says, like, don't bring them into things. So I thought about it in terms of this, because like, their daughter's missing. Like their daughter has gone missing, but we're not seeing the police come to the house, them talking to anybody about it, them going. The next cut is we're going to these paranormal investigators at this serious version of Ghostbusters, by the way.
Yes, and the woman actually mentioned something about, well, did you go to the authorities? And Craig T. Nelson's like, yeah, what am I going to tell them? You know, my kid got sucked into it. I forget what he says, but it's like, no, we didn't do that. We just came to you guys. He doesn't give a shit about anything but finding his daughter. He's like, I don't care about anything.
And Eric, the makeup job they took.
Oh my God.
He looks like he should be in Dawn of the Dead, 1978. He does look like he hasn't slept in a week. And I mean, it's a little overdone, but he just looks terrible. Well, but I think it's a cover too. It's not a cover, but he's telling work apparently, because he's been not able to go to work obviously throughout this, and that he's sick. He's got a long flu.
Yeah, everybody's got the flu. But I think the reason why you could probably realize why they're not getting much sleep is because the paranormal investigators come over and they're talking about how cool their investigations have been. And one of them is like, we once filmed for 7 hours this thing move across the floor. You can't see it with the human eye. Craig T. Nelson's like, yeah. And then what's the line? I think I wrote it down. It's like, we don't go in that room anymore. It's the kid's bedroom. And the paranormal investigators are ready to just waltz right in and see if they get 7 hours of footage.
It's great. And he opens up the door and everything's just going crazy in the room. The bed's moving. The things are moving around, flying. A lamp assembles itself in front of them, like the lampshade. There's a Hulk on a horse.
Yes,
toy
it's Hulk
Hulk.
on the horse. And here's
Yeah.
what I want to ask, and I think I know the answer. You may know the answer. Who is doing this with the critters? So, I mean, with all the furniture and props and toys in there, it's the ghosts. The ghosts are moving things around because they're just they're now out and in the house, so they don't know what to do with themselves. So this particular room, they're messing with things. I don't think it's the entity or the beast.
No,
Yeah.
it seems more playful and fun, but not. I don't think fun is the right word, but hard cup to the head investigator, Dr. Lesh, I think her name is Beatrice Straight. That's the actress.
Cool.
Yeah, Beatrice Straight. But she's very famous. She originated Elizabeth Proctor in the Broadway production of The Crucible.
No.
Like, yeah. So she's pretty famous actor that way.
Oh, she's had history with the supernatural.
Yes, exactly. I was thinking of that. But she's drinking coffee and the cup is shaking as she's drinking it. Yeah.
Great scene. Yeah, I think throughout the film you see she's got a little flask. She like pours.
It's a good character actually. He has
Very
a lot
good.
of dimensions. So they're talking. She's sort of laying out what all this is. Things you and I have already talked about here. What is a poltergeist? What is a haunting? Mm-hmm. She's laying all these things out, and then things are moving around. The two guys who are assistants, we should say, there is two assistants, and so anytime anything happens, they're like looking under the table.
Yes,
they got their measures.
They're still skeptical, so he says, the determination of whether your house is haunted or not is not very easy. And then the kettle goes across the table. I love that effect art because I've tried to do this before myself. It's just a simple magnet where they're just moving this object across the table. I've done that before. We do it at the Lost Museum Haunted Adventure we have a big Ouija board, and it's a haunted attraction, which you know about. And then there's a planchette on a big Ouija board on the wall. And the planchette, you put it on the wall and all of a sudden it moves by itself. And it's such a simple, practical effect that people still, even in the back of your mind, like, I know how that's done. You just don't care.
Yeah.
It's just so fun to see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Ryan, I like this moment too. He tries to get a picture and Joe Beth Williams like, you got to move faster than that around here. He's always late with getting a picture of everything because the spirits move these things.
Audio technical guy. He's the technical.
That actor went on to marry Beyonce's mom. That actor, I looked it up later.
So her mom is not one of all the single ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Pulled that right out of my butthole.
Yeah.
Windy butt.
So they start setting up all the equipment, the videotapes, and then we get this thing where we hear Carol Ann on the TV and we're realizing the mom can talk to her through the TV if they can connect to her, and
has to be on the right channel.
Has to be on the right channel. Yeah.
The static channel.
These are funny, and these are funny jokes that they're doing in the movie.
They're spoken very seriously. So the joke is funny without it being a joke. So yeah.
Yeah, and so she's talking to her, and then this is where we start to introduce the idea that there's somebody else here. It still raises the hair on the back of your neck when Carol Ann says that, right? It's still when I watch the movie. Right? There's somebody else here. And you realize, she's not alone in this space that she's in.
Yeah. And then for some reason, I forget, there's a little bit of stuff that goes on where, they're back and forth, but then they have this staircase with that rug from the 80s, the rug staircase, and a gaudy, weird, it's not a spiral staircase, but it's got like just weird handrails and stuff. And from the top of the staircase, you hear doom, 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 like that. And then this huge poltergeist, meaning air fart, comes. So you see where I mean?
Yeah.
Air farting. Just air farting coming down the stairs and just blows everybody like that.
Yeah, and at first it's Carol Ann. She blows through her. The mom's like, "Oh my god, such great acting in this movie because this is this could be silly stuff, but because she engages it so much, she's like, it's her, and she passed through me, and I can smell her, and then we hear the boom, boom." Boom, the whole house shaking.
Yeah.
And it's like this thing comes barreling through and it's very ominous. And poor Marty, the other tech guy, comes down and he's got a chunk taken out of it, like he's got a big bite mark on his
He does. He's
torso.
like, I think something bit me. And it's a huge bite mark. It's like alligator size, right?
Yes, it's like it's framed so well because he's got the shirt up and we see it. And then what I love is they have Robbie kind of peer. He comes from around the side, right, and he's looking at the bite mark.
He goes, oh, he's got this voice. You got bit? And then he shows it and he goes, wow. It's so good. Wow. Like,
Yeah.
and the girl, the daughter, Dana, she's kind of clocked out. She's just like, I can't be here. So they kind of write her off for quite a long time. She's not even around anymore.
Yeah.
I love that bit with the getting bit. And this is where, as a moviegoer, you're like, what is going on here?
Mhm.
These are ghosts, but what a monster clearly bit this guy. It's a monster.
Yeah.
Right?
And this is also where we get introduced to the idea of there's a light in this other dimension because Carol Ann is saying, there's a light, Mommy, there's a light. And the Dr. Lesh is like, tell her to don't go into the light. Tell her not to go there.
Yes.
And so
very important, yeah.
very important. But then afterwards, we have after the scary thing, we're sort of later in the evening. And this is a lot of whispering here. I'm like, wow, they had to whisper the whole conversation. The doctor comes over. She's got her nip bottle, Eric. She's got her little nip bottle. And she's talking to Jo Beth Williams about we're starting to get the idea of what is involved with the afterlife. It's laying out the rules, or it's explaining.
Yeah.
But I think it's great coming from her. She does a great performance, Beatrice Straight. Yeah. And just the idea of people are lost and they're out there and they're not dead, but because they're not able to move on and because they're not able to live in this world anymore, the real world where we are, they're a little cranky. Yeah. They're cranky about it.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think and yet they can play with the Hulk on a horse. So what's to be cranky about?
Yeah.
They can put a Hulk on a horse and go, that's fun.
Yeah. And so this is where I'm with you, Eric, when I think about it with our sort of midnight cinema glasses on.
Where are your glasses? Where are your midnight cinema glasses?
No, they're 3D ones. That'll be great. The old ones.
We should
3D
wear
ones.
those. Yeah. Should sell them.
When I'm looking at it through this rewatch process that we do.
Yeah.
You are trying to line up who exactly is doing what, how many creatures are there, but your actual experience of the movie is like, it becomes overwhelming. There's a lot going on. It's supernatural. We don't really understand everything, but I think they're trying to give us a roadmap because we're going to figure out how do we get Carol Ann back. This is what we need to start formulating here, right? Is the plan.
The little whispering kid. Why are they whispering? Who the hell are they trying not to wake up? But he's whispering and he starts to do, I think he plants an idea because he's like, well, maybe it's a little dark. He's like, maybe if I died and you killed me and, I'm just adding stuff and you threw me out a window and then I could go and get Carol Ann with a rope and bring her back. And you're like, did that kid just tell us what's going to happen in the future?
You don't know that when you're first watching the movie, but it's also a little dark. It's like, maybe I could die. I could die.
He loves his sister because he's willing to die and come back.
Yeah.
Like, well, you think I could go get her or something? So I thought that was good.
I know you and I tend to, we poke fun at all this. I will say these are emotionally affecting scenes.
They are.
You are feeling Jo Beth Williams. I can't overstate how much the emotion she's bringing up, the feelings that she's bringing into this are really going a long way to you buying into the emotional resonance of what's happening here. Their daughter's in another realm. And then it's going to be later at night. Everybody's asleep. And Marty, our technician, is a chow hound, man. He
likes to eat.
He loves
Cheetos. He's almost done with You ever try to eat a whole bag of Cheetos, Art? Oh my God.
He's getting the dust, right? Oh. He's going for the dust that's in the bottom of the bag.
He's 17. I can't get 12 of those down. I'm like, oh God, Cheetos. I can do 7 Pringles max. That's it.
He finishes off the Cheetos bag and he goes over to Ryan and he says, hey, can you watch the monitors over here? Because I'm going to go get something to eat. But he's just finished something. So he goes in the kitchen. And this is always, even when I was a kid, I was like, wow, is he just eating the Freeling family's leftovers? Is he just
Yeah.
he's just going in the fridge
Well,
and
he starts with leftovers. He starts with a
chicken leg?
a chicken leg, and he's chawing at that thing. He loves that, but he
Got it in his mouth, Eric? Like a yeah.
And for a guy who eats a lot of snack foods, I thought, wow, he's really going for it when he pulls out a raw steak.
And takes out a pan,
He's
throws
gonna
the pan
cook
on
a
the
steak.
stove. He's gonna cook a steak.
They didn't have takeout in frickin' 80s. They must have delivery.
I was like, it's not enough that there's probably cold chicken in the fridge that he could mow on. He's gonna eat a
He's gonna
steak.
Eat a steak
And not to mention, Eric, he throws it just down on the counter.
on the linoleum.
not-
Yep, it's not linoleum. Is it linoleum? No, it's like a
Tile.
ceramic
Like
tile
Yeah.
countertop.
He sort of flops it down just bare on
Yes.
on the counter.
Giving the steak room to breathe, Art. The steak needs to breathe.
Very good. Yeah, and this is great because there's no sort of light on in the kitchen. So he's doing all of this in the dark.
Yeah, just with the fridge light, I think.
He hears something behind him.
You want to hear it? Right?
Yep.
That's the sound of your food.
And I can't remember the exact sequence of this, Eric. So you'll have
Oh, I
to
can.
walk me through
Sure.
what happens when. So
Sure.
he sees this. Is it first he sees the steak moving
Yes, yes.
on the counter?
It is caterpilling across, inchworming. It's inchworming across the tile. Again, practical effect where someone's just underneath the counter going, "Whoop." It looks fantastic. So he looks at the steak and he's got the chicken bone in his mouth. So he's like, "Grr," the whole time. Then he looks down and the steak like erupts with steak. It's just like steak.
You're not exactly sure what's happening.
Mm-mm.
It's sort of flowering in levels out like a geyser. It's a icky effect.
You
And
know what it reminds me of? Like when an ant's coming out of the anthill, that kind of the earth is coming out. Like that's what
Yeah.
it looked like, except meat.
and I think were they under kind of pushing the levels up through? I'm wondering
I
how
don't
they were
know.
doing that exact effect.
I'm assuming, but it looked great. And that's
But this is
when
where I was trying to remember. Is that when he realizes what he's eating?
yeah, he looks down on the floor and there's our drumstick and it's got frickin' maggots on it.
Ah, oh. And he does just what you would do. He runs into the sink area.
like
It's like a pantry area
pantry,
or something.
One of those
Yeah.
big sinks where you like wash.
Put a
meat.
mop almost, yeah, or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's putting water in his mouth, and he's really reacting. And then he looks up in the mirror, and there's a couple of different cuts they do here, but then you start to realize he has something on his cheek, like
Yeah, it's a big cut.
something like that you could just
It's a,
what is that? You would do
a
that
gash.
if
He
you
has, like, a
saw
little
it as a
gap.
person. You would touch it. You would
Yep.
go,
Yep.
I'll just touch that.
Oh, he touches it. He touches it. Well, you can tell something weird supernatural is happening because the lighting gets wicked bright. And God bless them. This one is, to me, is like, couldn't they? It's like, reminds me of Arnold Schwarzenegger in, what's Get Your Ass to Mars. That one where he has a fake head. And you know that it's fake. And when you see this guy he starts ripping at his face, but it looks to me, I always see this scene as like, he looks like a Muppet. So you got our friend Beaker is back. So you got our friend Beaker, so here's the face. And then you got fake hands, like the chef, work, and it's like ripping at this face, but you can just tell it's not a good prop. Face prop.
Yeah. And whose hands, Eric, are ripping at the face?
Well, it's certainly not the director, Toby Hooper.
For people watching the movie Poltergeist, that's Steven Spielberg's hands tearing the flesh off.
yeah, the
of
not
the guy's
helicopter director's director. Nope. Here's what I'll say when you just see his regular face, you're like, oh boy, that's fake. But when they start tearing at the face,
But the eyeballs are intact.
Yep, it is really good, and it's gore and skeleton and pieces of flesh falling in the sink, and they have water running, so now it's even grosser. I thought, wow, and it is a rated R scene.
Thank you. I was watching it going, this is out of Dawn of the Dead or one of those movies.
Yep. Another one of my kids passed by who's 19 now, and he's like, "Oh, Dad, is this the movie that you had me watch when I had nightmares?" I'm like, "Oh, what?" He's like, "Yeah, the guy ripping his face off." I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah, it's really disturbing.
PG.
And you never forget it. I mean, you never forget that scene.
It's PG, yo."
Yeah. But like you said, he's not dead. He doesn't die. The light suddenly gets super bright and then flickers and he's fine. He's back. So I guess these poltergeists, Eric, can make you hallucinate things.
No, Art. I don't think this is the poltergeist.
This is the beast.
This is the entity. Yeah, it's the beast.
The beast. Because he got bit.
Yeah.
He got bit too. So
Yeah,
the entity's
he's an
touched
asshole.
him in a way, right?
The beast does not. The beast is bullying this guy for whatever reason. He don't like him.
Yeah.
He's like, "Shut up, Four Eyes. I'm going to take your face off."
Yeah, he's had a rough time, this guy.
Yeah.
But he comes back. Meanwhile, yeah, out in the room, we see it's great. Back then, this would have been such cool tech for us to watch. The camera automatically is going zoop, zoop, and it's focusing on the staircase.
Yeah, high tech stuff.
But it's great because we're seeing the video screens in front of us and then the staircase in the background, the actual staircase. And you're seeing that there's maybe something on the screen that we're not seeing in real life. And then the light is happening and mist starting to come down. And it's a really interesting effect. And then this woman starts to come down the stairs. I call it a woman. I like this effect a lot. It's so fascinating and interesting to watch. There are a few things in this movie with the visual effects that are probably early, like Industrial Light and Magic type things that they're doing that don't hold up as well as some other things. This does.
It does.
I
It's
think
always that Ghostbuster, the floaty ghost, the Muppet Christmas Carol. It's where you do sort of an underwater puppet kind of a thing with floating.
And
really cool stuff.
Things reaching out from it and floating, and it's very ethereal.
Mhm.
But with this one, you're never quite able to see does it have the face is never clear. In other words, like you can't identify it completely as this is a human being, right? Do you see what I mean?
When everybody's watching the playback,
yes,
it's a bunch of people coming down, but the ghost coming down the stairs, I clearly saw it as a woman with some kind of hat, and I was thinking, is this like a Gibson girl type of, that big hat, round hat and stuff? So
yeah.
I thought, okay, they're letting us know that is this a certain how dead are these people? How long ago dead? But you do get to see everybody come down the stairs, and I always focus on the people, and they're going like this.
Yeah.
The ghosts are looking around because for some reason now they're allowed to come down the stairs.
Yeah. I have a lot of different interpretations of the scene. I think one of mine is that the ghostly figure we're seeing coming down the stairs is Carol Ann. And these people are following Carol Ann. That's one of that's just one of the things I have. It's just one of my things that I put in the hip.
Is this what you found on Reddit at 3 a.m.?
No, this is just my, no, just
you think that's Carol Ann coming down?
It's one of them. It's one of the ideas.
Maybe they're holding her up. Maybe she's like piled up on two other kids, like that thing where you're wearing the trench coat. She's like, everybody.
But the thing that you're talking about is after this incident, they look at the playback of the video. And that's where we're starting to distinguish all those people.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because you can't see it with the naked eye.
Yeah.
Unless you shoot.
And also, is this where all the stuff comes out of the ceiling?
Yes. Where all of a sudden you hear and all this. No, maybe it started with one thing, but they're like, oh my God, this is where I was a little confused as to where these dead people coming from, because they said this brooch is, I forget what they said, over 100 years old. And this watch is fairly new. I'm like, well, where's the watch coming from?
I know.
Do they steal it from a neighbor's house?
Yeah.
Like you can see there's some kind of portal where something comes from the ceiling and hits the floor. Right
in the living room,
stairs. So you're like, what is going on here? And they don't really explain why. Were they gifts? Or all the ghosts like, you know what? Here's rent. We're going to give you some rent, but we don't have money. We just have old watches and a brooch.
For anybody here who's seen Phantoms, this only makes sense to Eric and I. Undigested remains.
Right? Undigested remains. Oh my God, a conversation between our psychic and this guy. Huh? But did you find that it was strange?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I can't get the.
Team them
I wanna
up in the
see-
same movie.
I want to see those two having a conversation. Are you
Yes.
enjoying your
Timothy Flight from
tea?
Phantoms and Tangina from
Right.
This
Poltergeist.
tea is clean.
They're having tea. Wow.
Yeah, so the next day, Beatrice Straight, the psychiatrist, Dr. Lesh, she says, "Me and Ryan are coming back. We're gonna go take this evidence to show people." And I like the little joke. Just don't put it on 60 Minutes or That's Incredible. They name check the show That's Incredible,
Yes.
which nobody under our age would know what they're saying.
Yep.
And she says, "Marty will not be coming
Marty,
back.
no.
Marty's had enough of this
Yeah.
house."
Yeah, Marty's going to change careers. He's probably going to be like a teacher, or maybe he's going to like climb mountains for a living. He's
Well,
gone.
I just love seeing it because they come from the university. I was saying this earlier, and it just reminds me so much of Ghostbusters, which
Yeah, except they're very serious about it.
they're very
Yeah.
serious, but it's the same thing. They have a university office, and but she's going to bring back. She's going to bring
A
back
friend. She brings back a friend.
a friend.
But we
who's
also
very
find out there's I think another scene is where we find out that Craig, what's his Craig Nelson?
Craig T. Nelson. Yeah,
The stupid T in the middle. Who needs that? Craig T. Nelson is with his boss, and it's one of my favorite actors from one of my.
I knew you were going to say this, Eric.
His boss is I forget his name, but I love him. He's almost a character actor, but he's from.
His
several-
name is James Karen.
Yes, James Karen, and he's from so many things. He was a very solid actor, but Return of the Living Dead. And the way he talks, let me tell you, I just love it. He's like, yeah, let me show you. Now, let's go look around. Is everybody in your family sick? Yeah, the flu. You got a bunch of technology in there. Yeah, you got something on the side.
Yeah,
Things are going wrong.
So James Karen enters this movie as Craig T. Nelson's boss
Yeah, his
from the
boss,
real estate
His
agency.
boss, yeah.
And they're worried because Craig T. Nelson hasn't been coming to work. And so they're suspicious that he might be getting ready to leave. So he says, "I want to show you something.
Yep.
Come on, I want to show you something."
Mm-hmm.
He's great at playing this guy. I mean,
Yeah, and
he's
he's got the
so
eyebrows.
good at this. Yes. So he takes Craig Nelson up on this high hill that overlooks the subdivision. You see everything.
Mhm.
And they say, he's like, "Look at this. Would you like your bedroom here? Like looking over all of this." And this is phase 5 in this housing development. Craig T. Nelson bought the first house in phase 1.
Phase 1.
But behind them, Eric, up there's a big cemetery.
It's a giant
Craig-
pet cemetery.
Yeah, so Craig T. Nelson is like, "Well, this is be great, but you got this cemetery here," and this is where we
Yeah.
learn there was another one down phase 1.
Yep. And
Yeah.
I will point out that this cemetery is a vast freaking cemetery. My first thought was, they got a truck and haul the bodies up here? Is there a street that leads to the cemetery? It is a filled cemetery.
Yeah.
Really filled. And I do want to point out our tree. There are 2 trees in the cemetery. I don't know if you noticed,
Yes.
but they are the same trees. They're dead trees. They're big
Mhm.
old gnarly dead trees. But don't worry, Art, because we moved the bodies and we moved the headstones, and
Yep.
another cemetery is just a few miles
Yeah.
away.
They can go visit their loved ones
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And so Craig T. Nelson gets the idea that, shoot, there was a cemetery where my house is, and they moved the cemetery, and now my house is there.
One of my favorite the lines. I'm not sure if it's accurate, but the guy goes, he goes, some people might be upset with that. And the other guy goes, "Well, you seem to be the only one upset with it right now." But Craig T. Nelson's referring to the fact, like, "Oh no, I got a bunch of dead people not too happy." So it's good.
It's a great line, because I think the line he said, Eric, is he says, nobody's ever complained until now.
There you go. Yeah. He's like, "I don't know about that," or something.
Yes. So we're learning, this is where we're introduced to sort of, we've seen Burial earlier in the movie with Tweety Bird, and now we're introduced to the idea that there were literally physical dead people on this site. That's what Craig T. Nelson thinks. And then we're going to get introduced to Tangina. She's going to enter.
Yeah. Well, the mom's alone in the house, right? So
Oh, there's that little moment.
Yeah.
It's a good moment, you're thinking, where she's cleaning up around the house
Yeah.
and she goes to the door of
Yeah.
the bedroom, Carol Ann's bedroom. And
I love
it's
that.
kind of extended, and you're seeing she's talking through the door, and she opens it up a little bit, and the spirit doesn't like,
They don't like that. No.
Yeah.
I kind of think of it like it's your teenagers in the other room. You're like, do you want any dinner? No, leave me alone.
And she closes the door and she's like, okay, all right, I'm sorry. I'm
She's so
sorry.
good.
I'm sorry. I'm
He's so
sorry.
good in this.
The movie wouldn't work as well. This is great stuff that she's doing here.
Yep.
And she's just acting with a closet door when you think about it. That's all this actress is doing.
All of the best actors can act with a inanimate object. Closet door, Peter O'Toole with a manhole cover. Come on. This leads up to CG when people have to act for just a tennis ball on a stick.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And
He's so good.
and so then we're going to get introduced. She's coming into the movie to steal the movie and become iconic. Zelda Rubinstein is the actress's name, because they come in and we don't see her initially. The camera's kind of tracking the house and we're seeing people walking through the house. And I think Dr. Lesh is talking and Jo Beth Williams is talking. And then it's almost like they part as they're entering the living room and she walks in, and it is great when you first see this movie because she is not what you think you're going to see.
Yes.
She's small, compact,
Very
her
tiny
hair,
woman.
the glasses, and her accent.
Yes.
It's-
Yes, Art.
Yeah.
You mind stepping back? You're jamming my frequency.
It's great. So she's this psychic who's incredibly in tune with things, and she seems very authoritative.
Yes.
And in this scene, it's very interesting because Craig T. Nelson is, I don't know if even as the actor, he's trying, I think, not to laugh at this situation. Jo Beth Williams is a little like, have respect, but I think the family isn't. The reason I'm pausing on this is watching the movie, I'm like, are we supposed to be taking her seriously? Are we not? But what I like about this movie is very soon she's kicking ass. She is, you're really,
She is. Yeah.
yeah. But this introduction, we're on Craig T. Nelson's side, I think,
Yes.
at
And
first.
You're in California, and I was in California, but I think only maybe Californians or people in the area would know. But he turns to the other woman and says, "What is this? Your Knott's Berry Farm solution?" And Knott's Berry Farm's like it's not a Six Flags, but it's similar to that, where it's a Disney adjacent theme park. So I thought, oh, he's making jabs at something about which side of the rainbow.
Knott's Berry Farm taking strays, Eric.
Yeah.
Taking stray shots here.
I like Knott's Berry Farm. Thank you very much. Mine ride. Yeah.
But he goes upstairs and Craig T. Nelson is like, I'm trying to communicate to her with my mind. And then does she say, like, I hear you? Like, there's something she indicates that she does hear him. And we're kind of like, oh, boy.
Yeah, because she's in the other room. She's way upstairs in the other room.
Yeah. But then we get this great moment. I liked this, Eric, where she explains it. Now it's not funny. We're listening to her.
Mm-hmm.
It's close up and she's laying out for us what's happening. And it's scary. It's wondrous. It's scary.
Yeah.
She's there. These people are following her. And then she gets to, there is another person there.
Right.
And the music starts to come up. I'm getting the hairs on the back of my neck are standing up right now, just thinking about it as she's saying it. There's another one and he covets her. And I can't do her voice
she says,
like you
the
can.
Beast. Speaking of the beast, there's somebody just decided to mow their lawn. So I'm going to close my window.
Okay.
I'm going to close my window.
So, Eric, that's actually where we first hear the term. She says, how does she say it? Some people refer to her. You can do the voice.
Yeah,
I can't do the voice.
I forget what she called it first, but she's like,
some people refer to it as the beast.
And Jo Beth Williams like,
I'm like that, Eric. Yeah. I'm like it makes me scared. The way she lays it out. And then she says that line of, let's go get your daughter.
Let's go get your fucking daughter.
No,
I'm like, now we're in like 80s action movie, right? Like you said, it's an adventure movie at the beginning.
Yes.
And now you're like, okay, here's the plan. It's almost like the heist plan.
Yep.
This is where, Eric, I'm sorry, let me wax a little poetic here. No, this
You guys
next
wanna
scene,
pause
I want to point out, we go upstairs and she says, you got to call out to Carol Ann. It's the scene. And she says, have the daughter talk to him, the father talk to him and say he's going to spank him. Did you notice this is all one shot? This whole scene up in the hallway is one shot. It starts close on the tennis ball. Ryan is writing the numbers on the tennis ball. It starts
is it a
close on the tennis balls. It pulls back. She's going around. We do the whole thing with her. Craig T. Nelson comes up to the camera. The camera's moving slightly. Zelda's talking and everything. And that whole scene ends with the camera going right onto the doorknob of the closet. So next time you watch it, it's a one shot. And this kind of seals my idea that Steven Spielberg was directing this movie. I know.
Are you kidding me?
But this is
what about?
But it's really cool. See, you don't even notice that it's all one shot.
Now I will. Yeah. But this is where we realize that there's a portal. Mm-hmm. We already saw the jewelry come through, so now we know if you can throw the tennis ball into the closet and swoop, it comes out into the living room, and it's covered in like fleshy jello. It's just a gross jello kind of a, you know what it looks like? It looks like really bad cranberry sauce or something. It's just a gross, fluid, viscousy, like when cows come out. When a calf comes out, it's all got goop on it. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, right? So they've written the numbers on the ball, 1 and 2. But she enters the bedroom. This is the thing, and we enter it, and it just... This is where the lighting, it's so iconic. Tangina enters the bedroom. The camera sort of swings around with her, and you see her silhouette in front of that closet that they're shooting. They're doing all sorts of lights, and apparently I've seen photos of the behind the scenes. They have massive fans, right? Just huge fans blowing that wind at the actors. And the score, we haven't even talked about. Goldsmith's score for this movie is sort of coming together here. And I just love the shots, how it looks, how it's framed. And you're just on the edge of your seat and you're realizing the plan here, because they haven't quite explained or laid out the plan, but we know there's a rope, there's tennis balls, there's all this. And then so what I appreciate about the movie is they're letting us learn the plan as they're doing it.
Oh, they're not telling us blow by blow what they're doing like in some other movies?
Correct.
This looks like a body, but there's no weapon. Yeah, so the idea is to tie someone to the rope. They go into the unknown, find easy plan. They find Carol Ann in wherever she is, and then the rope, which is now coming out of the ceiling with how did it come out of there? We don't know. And then what you're supposed to do is yank on the rope and you pull everybody to safety, right?
Yeah.
Easy.
And so who's going to go in there? Tangina at first is going to go. The idea is Tangina's going to go. And it is a very funny line in the midst of this tense buildup, Eric. Yeah. They put a joke in here.
Wind and lights and... Right.
And they put a joke, and it works. The joke works because Tangina's doing this, and Craig T. Nelson says, "I'll go," and they're like, "No, you need to hold on to the rope."
Yeah.
And then Jo Beth Williams says, "I'll go,"
right?
And Tangina goes, "Well, you've never done this before." And Jo Beth Williams said, "Well, you haven't either." And Tangina, Zelda Rubinstein says, "You're right. You go."
Right.
You're right. You go.
But it's just a very matter of fact, like, you're right. You go. Yep. See you later.
But this is where I'm fascinated. We watch all these movies and you hear me say this sometimes where I'm like, how does it work? It's a joke in the middle of the tense situation. It works. It totally works. It doesn't throw the balance off.
Because it's a normal thing you would say.
Yeah.
It just happens to be funny in this situation. And they didn't make it. They're like, hey, wait, you've never done this before. Neither have you. Hey, you're right. You go. It's just, it's great. And she goes into the unknown.
Goes into this, and they don't show us what she sees.
No,
they don't show us what's on the other side of that light.
Thank goodness we never see what's on the other side ever in any other movies.
Well, are you talking about the special edition of Close Encounters?
No, I'm talking about Poltergeist.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they don't show us that she goes in, and
No.
so we don't know what's going on. And
no, and thank
the
goodness-
idea is what they're telling Carol Ann to do. We should say, for people who maybe haven't watched the movie because they're too scared or they're listening to this podcast, is the idea is Carol Ann, these spirits are following Carol Ann because she has life force in her.
Mhm.
She's something from the real world. So I think what they're trying to do, Eric, is she said, have Carol Ann lead these souls towards the light, but don't go in the light herself. So then the people will go into the light and they'll be gone. They won't be haunting the house anymore and playing games and bending spoons, I guess, right? They'll be gone. And then Carol Ann, take her through the portal. We can pull Carol Ann out of there. And then the beast won't have any connection. And so we'll be rid of the poltergeist and we'll be rid of the beast.
Yep. But
Do I get that right?
yes, and it's a good thing that our psychic didn't go in there, because all of a sudden she stops and she's kind of possessed. And she's like,
Go into the light. All are welcome. All are welcome.
and the dad's like, you said don't go into the light. You said don't. And then he starts pulling the rope to get her back out.
Yeah.
And then she snaps out and she's like, not yet, not yet. And then this freaking, I love these effects, practical, but sort of, what did we say, blue screen or what? But this skull, rotting sort of skull type of face comes out the closet door right into Craig T. Nelson's face.
Yeah. Yeah. It made me think of Eric at one of his haunted attractions has this big creature that comes out called the Gorehound.
Yeah.
And it's a big creature that you work with sort of a little bit of hydraulics.
Yep.
And it comes out as a big, massive head.
Yep.
And that reminded me of that, Eric. I said, it's like the Gorehound coming out of the thing to scare people. That big skull comes down.
Yes, I have to say that this movie must have affected me somehow, because you talk about the Lost Museum, and the guy that says, be careful, don't do this or you'll summon the beast. And then I have this big beast head, and then rewatching this, I went, oh my God. I even have ghosts that lurch forward that are kind of poltergeisty. I thought, wow, this movie really touched on my creative juices.
Yeah, so Craig T. Nelson is trying to pull this up. This big creature comes out.
Yep.
He's terrified. He's looking at it. And
what are you going to do? He lets go.
He lets go of the rope.
I mean,
and downstairs, the doctor and Ryan are pulling the rope, but now it's coming down really, 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 really fast. And I watched this. It is like they come, you see a shot up in the ceiling, and you see Jo Beth Williams is kind of in a fetal position, falling through some abyss in the ceiling, and she comes down. It's hard, Eric. They drop it down, and she hits the floor, but she's got Carol Ann in her, cradled up on her, and she's covered with the goo that we saw on the tennis balls, and it was a hard one. And I saw some behind-the-scenes footage of this, and them dropping something down onto the living room floor to make it look like that. But I couldn't tell from the behind-the-scenes footage if it was a stunt person dropping down from the ceiling onto some mattresses, but
no,
the movie, it's very harsh.
Jo Beth Williams and the kid, they both did it. They're like, no, we'll do it. But the goop saved them, the impact. The goop saved them from the impact.
Yeah. Do you remember when you had the don't break an egg experiment in science class? You just use the goop from
use the goop
from supernatural goop. But previous in the plan, that's the thing. We didn't know. They said, is the bathtub full earlier in the plan? And this is to put them, I guess, in the warm bath.
Yeah.
And
now,
to
how the hell do
revive
they know it's
them.
going to work?
Yeah.
What
And
gets the goop
so
off?
Craig T. Nelson is trying to get her to come back, and she comes back, and then we have Carol Ann. Hi, Daddy.
How was that? Can you do that one more time?
Hi, Daddy.
Wait, let
Like,
me
is that how
record
she
that.
says it?
I want to record that so I can use that when I want to use it against you. Hi, Daddy. Hi. No, she's so sweet, though.
She is.
Because,
She's a sweet kid.
And then, you want to do the famous line, or do you want?
You have to do it. I can't
I
do
don't
a
have any
good
glasses.
Tangina.
I don't have any glasses
But
with me.
well, she comes down. What I love about it is that so Carol Ann's out, so they come downstairs and they take out a video camera. They're filming, and Tangina comes. She does her hair, Eric. Before she says it, she puts herself together, wipes her hair back.
Yep.
She looks at the camera.
Yep. Takes her glasses off.
This house is clean.
Yeah.
Now, what I like about this movie is this could be the end. That could be the end of the movie.
Yep, that is the end, isn't it, Art? We're done. See you later on another podcast.
Because next day we cut. They're moving.
Oh, they're done.
They got a moving van.
They're
They're moving out of the house, which I like. It's not a movie where they exercise the house and they're still living there and now they're happy in the house.
And
they are going to move.
Here's what I like about the director, Toby Spielberg, is remember the lamp? Remember the lamp that gets put back together? The kid's wearing the lampshade on his head. They didn't have to do that. They called that a prop.
No,
and that's amazing. It's
great.
Oh my God, that's the lamp hat. That's the lampshade from them. And this is where Dana, they say they're going to say the Holiday Inn or something. Dana is there now. We hardly see this kid.
Yes.
And she says, the mom.
Oh, I remember that place.
Yeah, I remember that place. Right. So you're thinking.
And the mother looks at her like,
what are you talking about? I mean, she's what? She's 7? She's 16, right?
They say, I think what I've read is 16. I don't know. Do they ever say that in the movie?
Yeah,
maybe they do with the investigators.
16.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. That's pretty young. That's what, sophomore in high school. She's been to the Holiday Inn. The actress did say in interviews at the time, Dominique Dunn, that it was difficult because she was, I think, like you said, 21 and she was playing a 16-year-old. And she did actually say that was she had a little trouble.
Yeah, a little risque there. They're moving out, right? So
they're gonna move out.
Everybody's leaving. The dad's gonna pack up his stuff from work because he's not working there anymore. And even though he's gonna meet partner, well, I don't know if that's a good move financially. But so these scenes, they don't seem necessary, but they are necessary. Where you are lulled into a false sense of security, but you as the viewer know, no, we're not done. We're not done because why are they showing this? But the mom she's relaxing. She takes a bath. The kids are playing in their room. I'm going to ask you this, Art. I'm a parent. I know you're not a parent, but would you be like, you know what? That's the room that sucked my kid into the abyss. It's probably good. We'll let you go back in there.
Eric,
what the hell?
This house is clean.
Yeah, whatever.
Eric.
Yeah.
This house it got the Tangina stamp of approval.
Okay, so you put the kids back.
Oh, Tangina can put out on the lawn like this house was Terminex people,
right.
Like this treated with whatever,
right?
Like or painted by Robert Brothers painter.
Clean
put
by
the thing out.
Tangina.
Clean by Tangina. But yeah, so you're right, and also we should say JoBeth Williams has 2 gray streaks through her hair.
Yeah,
she's rocking it. I think she looks great.
Me scrutinizing this movie because I'm blaming you, not myself. And the woman at the beginning, when they're in the scene with the paranormal room, if you look closely at that woman's hair, I don't know. I don't think they did this on purpose because they've never seen anything like this before. She has little white, like barely white streaks in her hair. And I thought, did she have an experience? And this is what happened. But yeah, it's good. And then she wants to dye it back. So
we get a little like it's a PG movie, so we're not getting a lot here, but they're doing a little, like they haven't done that much in this movie of like JoBeth Williams taking her pants off and getting ready for the. We do see, there's a couple when the tornado comes, the daughter's T-shirt flies up and we see her undies and she pulls them down on purpose because I don't think it was done on purpose. But yeah, we're going to see some undies here because the kids the beast is a little frisky. Yeah. Well, the kids are in their room. I do have a question, Eric. They're moving, right? Mm-hmm. And I guess they're going to stay. They're going to go to the Holiday Inn tonight, but there's a lot of stuff in the house still. I thought they're not ready to move yet. No, right? Well, as a like the homeowner with kids, is what you do is you leave some stuff so you're still feeling a sense of like, oh, this is our last night, but we still have a few things. So we did that before. Okay, we leave some toys or whatever, or a fridge. No. Yeah. But they're not, my question is, they're not staying there that night, though. That's the thing. No, they're going home. Right. So why are the kids in their bedroom? They should be downstairs, not in front of I was a little confused by that. But so, the kids are in their room and the clown is still there. The clown didn't go in the moving van. All right. What? They left the rocking chair and the clown in the same position. This kid deserves what he's going to get. He is asking for trouble. You understand me? Yeah. This is great. Into the gorilla's
cage
Yes.
with
Where
the
after a while,
banana.
the zookeepers are like, look, kid, you keep going in there. We're
don't
not.
do it. Yep.
But this is great because they set up earlier. I love this. He throws his jacket, but he misses.
He misses. And that music, the little
Yeah. And we should, I don't think we mentioned earlier, the clown has bells all over it too. So that
Yep.
anything like when he throws the jacket on, yeah, the clown's bells sort of rattle. And so he's, he lays down
Yep.
and then he looks up again.
It's gone.
No clown.
And you actually hear like a little doom, 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 ding, ding, ding.
It's so eerie.
And never look under the bed first. What an idiot. Kid looks under the bed, nothing there.
I broke all this down shot by shot
You
and
did?
just looking how they did it. Yeah, like what you see over his shoulder.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And because there's a lot of parts to it. He looks under the bed, he
Yep.
pulls back up, the clown's there, and then it cuts to Carol Ann scream, but then the clown's arm, those long
Yep.
arms, are wrapping around his neck like a python or
Mhm.
something. And and the clown's just got that. Does the clown's expression change?
Yeah.
It changes,
Oh,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
He wasn't scary enough. He likes what he's doing. He's like, so
Yeah.
I imagine this is not the ghost. This is now the beast. It's like,
Uh-huh.
all right, I'm not gone. I think the ghosts are gone. I think they left, and that's what Tangerine
And you would
was saying.
you think the mother, Jo Beth Williams, is going to hear the screams and be able
No.
to come and help, but she's lying on the bed in just her sports shirt, right? Like a numbered jersey and nothing, and then we're going to get something out of the entity. Do you remember that movie, Eric, here? Like
It's great. She's lying on the bed and her shirt gets lifted up and she deliberately is trying to pull it down. So something's trying to force her shirt up. So we get the Sigourney Weaver shot, which is the underwear.
and this thing is attacking her. And then she starts rolling up the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And it still looks pretty good, even after you know what's happening here. It's one of those effects where they're actually moving the room. The room is rotating and the camera's staying still. And so she's rolling along with the room. And she said in the interview I read in Vanity Fair recently, she said, it's really fun the first take. But she said, when you do 50 takes, she said it starts to be a little grueling.
Oh, I didn't know that. 50 takes?
That's what she said
What is this, a Kubrick film?
She might have been exaggerating, but I get her point.
Yeah.
Where she's like,
Stanley.
this is fun. But then they're like, cut, do it again.
Yeah. This is where we
And
realize that the director is neither of those two. It's the Stanley Kubrick. Kubrick. I never say his name right. Let's do it again.
And the person on the camera, because of the vertigo of all of this, he had to twice during the shooting, he had to go throw up in the bathroom because concentrating on it with the room spinning around him while he's concentrating on filming, he got vertigo a couple of times. Yeah.
Well, drama means your best friend, you dummy.
Yeah. So it's a great effect. She's rolling around the room. And meanwhile, back in the bedroom, I love this part, Eric, where the kid gets the better part of the clown, and he's tearing the stuffing
Yep.
out of the clown.
Yeah,
He's
he
going,
is not
"Yo,
the victim
got it."
here. He's not a victim. He's like, I hate you. I hate
He
you.
definitely
Like,
gets
you kid, rip the shit out of that clown. That kid taught me to, if there's a monster in the room, like a thing like that, and I still do that, I'm a little embarrassed to say. If there's an object in my room, I wake up at night and I'm like, oh, there's a shrouded figure right there. I go up to it and I take it apart. It's like, oh, it's my bathrobe. Things like that. But that kid, good for you, kids, showing kids you go for it. So he ripped that clown a new one.
Yes, he did.
But the closet, that thing, practical effect, right?
Yeah. Well, the things are coming out of the sides of it.
Gooey tendrils and
But yet there's a light behind it shining through. And so Carol Ann now is just scared because she's like, not again, not again. She doesn't want to go back.
Yeah, well,
to
she
wherever
could have freaking
she
ran
was
out of
before.
the room.
Right. But the mother comes upstairs, room's closed. She's like, it throws her back down the stairs. She's going outside to get help at the neighbors.
Yeah.
But the neighbors, I guess she's screaming and yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Well, was that before
Well, no,
Yeah, or
she's
after.
running along the edge of the pool.
Yep. That's what
She's
happens.
running
You don't
along
put a fence around the pool, Art.
Yeah, and she falls into that
Yep.
that dug pool. What's interesting, Eric, is I mean, it makes sense now, but reading about behind the scenes and how they film all this, that's completely on a sound stage, that whole backyard
Mhm.
of the house. It's all on an interior in a sound stage that they're doing it on. And so I guess it's cold. It smells like old peat moss. This is what the actor's experiencing. And she falls in, and the skeletons are coming up.
Yes.
Lots of different skeletons.
It's another attack because I didn't get to say, but clown attack, skeleton attack. Skeletons really well done, by the way.
Which they found out.
Very
Is this
real.
confirmed?
Mhm.
This trivia about the skeletons
it?
that are in this pool, Eric?
Mhm.
Is it confirmed? They confirmed that. I've heard lots of trivia that these are real skeletons. They are not fake skeletons. They were actually obtained through old, I guess where you get those, and they're using actual human skeletons in this pool.
Yes, and these skeletons are also really dolled up. So there's lots of prosthetics and things on. They're all in different. They're so good. The open mouth skeletons are.
Yeah, because it's interesting, Eric, because you watching it again, you don't get the feeling that these skeletons are animated. They're not reaching out and grabbing her. They're just popping up all around. And then a coffin, this is where this starts, right? A coffin raises up out of the mud and it opens up. And this woman, it's like a woman, and she just kind of collapses and falls out of it. And she's stuck in the pool. It's really good. She's on the mud.
Can't get out.
She's trying to crawl out. And then her neighbor helps her up, right? He's the one who gets her up out of the thing. And she's screaming, and the neighbors are not going to go in the house because now there's all lights flashing from inside the house.
Yes, I was saying to myself, they're rescuing her, and then I put after that, oh, they're fuckers. They're too afraid to go in the house.
No, too afraid. Yeah. And she goes in, and is this where we get now another whole sequence here? They're doing everything. They're pulling out all the stops. We get that dolly zoom shot of the hallway. So the door, the hallway extends. So she's looking at the door and it suddenly extends. So the door's moving away from her and she starts running towards the door, but the hallway keeps sort of expanding. I love this stuff.
It is a great shot.
So they're really, I think this is what's great about the movie. They're finding different ways to F with us, Eric.
Yes.
On every turn of this movie. It reminds me of, we reviewed Fright Night, remember? And we just said, wow, this climax, they're really sparing nothing. They're throwing it all at it. This is what I was feeling watching it. I'm like, oh, this, and then does the accordion kind of collapses on the hallway and throws her because she's running so fast because the hallway's elongated. And when it becomes a normal hallway, her momentum just slams her into the door. And then we get another shot of the beast. I guess this is it's like it's hunched over and it's at the door. It's guarding the door, right?
Yes.
And
If
it's
you look at it,
roaring at her.
You can look at it two ways, that it's very funny or it's very scary, but it's definitely a puppet. I believe they put it in underwater and they have it. And it's got these incredibly spindly legs but the face is just so haunting. And it's just like, so it's almost like a hellhound type of thing. It's sitting, but it's really, really thin legs and stuff. And then the spindly, it's great. And she's not having it.
Yeah.
So
at this point in the bedroom, everything's getting sucked in again to the bedroom.
The door is gone.
He's trying to help. The brother is trying to help her. He's holding on to her. And Jo Beth Williams opens the door, and so she's reaching in. And so now she's holding the son, and the son's holding Carol Ann.
He comes in the room. If she hadn't held on to the doorknob, she would have went flying into this gaping maw that looks to me like the Sarlacc in Return of the Jedi. It's got like a tentacle tongue coming out. It's like breathing and just amazing. But yeah, it's a great shot where she's like, whoa! And then they have to do like a daisy chain and rescue everybody.
And it's got like a big long tentacle that's trying to grab them coming out. Yeah. And so how do they get out of the room?
He reaches for the son. He reaches for Carol Ann, and they just do this, and and they pull everybody into
And they
the
go out the door.
hallway, and then they just book it out the house.
Yes. And at that point, Craig T. Nelson is coming home, but oh, hell is breaking
Oh, yeah.
loose. There's coffins are popping up all over
Yes.
the place.
Great.
And your buddy there, James Caron, is pulled
Yep.
up and he's looking at it all.
Yep.
And we get Craig T. Nelson, another iconic line from this. You moved the headstones, but you kept the bodies, didn't you?
Didn't
You
you?
moved the
Only move the heads. And then he has this weird thing with his voice. He goes, why? It's like and what I love about the other guy is he doesn't need to say a gosh darn thing to show. He's not going, oh, I'm sorry. He just is like, it's a great way to show that you can be scared of something or whatever without going, what? Or who's that? So really, really
And
good.
then a Camaro pulls up and Dana gets out of the Camaro, I guess. And
Yeah.
she has a hickey on her neck, I think. We're
She
supposed to
does
see she has.
have a hickey on her neck. And
Yes.
you just like, so there's some backstory here that we're never really getting into. It's always something about some
Yeah.
kind of promiscuous or sex or boys, or it's very interesting.
And she does a great job with just this line delivery. What is happening? I still remember from when I first saw the
Mhm.
movie. And at this point, Eric, they're running to the car. They're trying to get I love Craig T. Nelson's trying to find the keys.
Yes, he's like
And then-
searching his pockets. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And then he's got to find the right key to put in the
Yep.
ignition. They're really extending this, I have to say.
I like it,
But-
though. I like the way.
But Eric, also, the neighborhood is going nuts. There's people outside their houses. And did you notice there's like explosions happen? Like gas lines are breaking and shooting gas explosions up out of the
Mhm.
thing. I forgot that actually. It's been a little while since I've seen the movie. I thought it was just contained to their house. But here in the end, you're seeing the whole neighborhood's going haywire. Everything's like blowing up.
Yeah,
Fire hydrants are.
under the ground stuff.
Right.
So the one of
Yeah.
the cars turns over, and then there's a hydrant that goes up. Yeah, and
Yeah.
the house is really pissed off. So it's last ditch effort to get them. Great effect where they're trying to take off, and a freaking coffin comes right out, boom, all over the car, and a body gets hurled onto the car. And if you're thinking of
Onto
this-
the windshield, its face kind of
Yes.
smacks the windshield.
it's like but what I love about it is this: you're seeing that whatever this entity is, it definitely has some kind of personality, and it's like throwing shit now. It's like a kid having a tantrum. It's
Mhm.
like, oh yeah, well, you're not getting away, I'll throw this body on you. But they do get away.
They get out, they drive away, and
But
they
not
get to
in
the
time.
Holiday Inn.
They leave. They don't
Oh,
get
yeah.
to see the aftermath, but our
Yeah.
friend does.
James Caron does.
James Caron.
He's
Yep.
watching with and the house is sort of just lights are flashing, and the house looks like it's about to take off into outer space
Mm-hmm.
or something. And then a big bolt or a flame shoots out of the house and hits James Caron to the point where, like, I don't
Oh, I don't
know if he
remember.
died.
No, he doesn't
It's
die.
like
Mm-mm.
James Caron. No,
Nope.
okay,
Never
okay.
a body count
But
for him.
but it hits him, like, and really blasts him. It's like a flame /
Yeah, he goes,
misty thing. Yeah. And he goes down. And then the house, it's a great effect, implodes in on itself.
it implodes. It gets
Yeah.
sucked into itself. Yep.
Yeah. It just collapses, and all that's left is like a little bright line, almost like when you turn off a TV.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I noticed this time. Like when you used to turn off the old tube TVs,
Yep.
it would go like, pew, it'd wink off, and there'd be like a little bright light
Well,
in the middle.
I don't remember that,
of the
Art. I'm
screen.
not old enough to remember that.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what
Yeah.
you're talking about. Yeah.
And then we cut to the Holiday Inn.
Yeah, because the house is gone. There's nothing. The
Mhm.
house is gone.
Yeah, and there's obviously there's an event at the Holiday Inn, Dr. Fantasy.
Yeah. Good for them.
Yeah, that was one of the producers of the movie. He also
Yeah.
did magic, and
Yeah.
so they put that on the billboard of the Holiday Inn.
Oh, I thought it said guest speaker Toby Spielberg. No?
And they just look like they've been through it. They're walking along the balcony towards the room,
Mhm.
and they're not. I love it, Eric. There's no dialogue. There's no, oh my God, I guess we're out of there. They look like they've been through a war.
Well, that's the beauty of that scene, Art, because it takes its time, and it is letting us, the audience, feel with the family. And a great film does that kind of thing where you're feeling what they're feeling and they're not telling you this is what they're feeling. They're just doing it. And you took this ride with that family and you're just like, God, is it over? I hope so. Yeah.
And they go into their hotel room, and one last little joke, a little joke to send us off. Door closes, door opens up again, and he wheels the TV out onto the balcony and leaves the TV there.
Unplugged.
And
Yep.
Unplugged.
They roll it out. It's a rolly TV on a stand, right? Roll it out. Boom,
Yep.
Close the door.
Close the door, and we get the pull back, and we get the great Jerry Goldsmith. La, 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 la.
Mm-hmm.
It's the little kids doing the Poltergeist theme. Yeah, it's really an eerie, but you're a fun ending to the movie. You're just pulling back, and it's this is where the controversy, my last Spielberg Hooper controversy thing, Eric. The first thing that comes up, rather than a film by Toby Hooper, which you'd normally expect here, or it's a Steven Spielberg production, is the first thing that comes up on those title cards as it comes up. And
but as we said, we're not even going to talk about that through this whole thing because there was so much to talk about. We hardly brought it up, this controversy.
We did actually hardly bring it up.
No, we hardly did bring it up.
I do want to mention this about the score. If you listen to the credits all the way through the end of the score, what's really great is at the end of that song with the little kids, and they all stop. When the music stops, it's just a bunch of children laughing. They all laugh. But it's eerie. It's kind of eerie, but they also just sound like kids. It's really a great little ending to the music cue there.
Yes.
So that's it. Poltergeist.
That is it.
One and done. They never went back again, right?
They never did another Poltergeist because it didn't really do well. And they didn't say, you know what, we should do a money grab and keep going.
Well, they had to rewire some things for the sequel. Should we cover the sequels someday, Eric?
Oh, God.
Should we?
What?
No?
No,
we shouldn't do a Poltergeist sequel covering?
No. Only if I can copy the guy, the bad guy.
Let me in!
Are you afraid, honey? Oh, God.
Yeah, they added a whole story as to who these people were in the first house, right?
Yes, they did. See, thanks a lot. Yeah, it just doesn't. It's not really for me. Poltergeist 2, okay, but we're not going to talk. It's not worth it. It's not for me. Just see this one and don't see the freaking remake. Oh my God,
it's very forgettable. I saw the remake. I mean, I saw the sequels to Poltergeist, and I barely remember anything in them except for the iconic Kane is his name, Reverend Kane. That guy. Yeah, he kind of stands out. Yeah, and they remade it. Poltergeist relatively recently with Sam Rockwell, and I did not see that remake.
I did.
Because in the trailer, I watched the trailer for that movie, and I remember distinctly saying, I don't see how I'm going to like this. I don't see how this is giving me anything like the original movie. It's hitting the beats, but doing it as if it's did they go, you saw it, Eric. Did they go more horror? Or did they try to lean into making it more of a horror movie? That's what it seemed like to me.
Fun fact, I don't even remember.
Okay, that's my point. Yeah.
I can't remember. I watched it because I'm a fan of Sam Rockwell, so I thought, oh, maybe he'll bring something to this, but he was trapped in this movie, so it wasn't. But let's forget it, Art. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it, you son of a bitch. Let's talk about the Poltergeist that we love.
Poltergeist.
Let's talk about
I'm going to sum this up. I'm going to sum it up, the parts that I like.
All right, go.
As far as this movie.
Go.
Actually, I'm going to sum it up this way and say, Eric, just go watch this movie. Just go watch Poltergeist again. I will say this is a great movie. Watching it again, I was very surprised at how much the emotional stuff in it holds this movie up and keeps it on a level that has you invested, keeps you engaged. I'll say this. A lot of horror movies manufacture ways like, we'll take the little kid and we'll put the little kid in danger so that then we can have the horror movie. And that's the plot point of the horror movie. This movie, because of the setup with the family, you really in your bones feel this family loves their daughter and the daughter's in danger. And we don't even see the daughter disappears from the movie. She's talking over a television. but you're scared for her in those moments when they're talking. And a lot of it is so much of Jo Beth Williams. And I will say the other female leads, Zelda Rubinstein and Beatrice Straight as the doctor, they do a great job as well. And Craig T. Nelson, I think, is just the right tone in this movie as far as the actors. The effects are great when they're horrific. And I was surprised, like you said, I was surprised. I'm like, this is PG? PG. But you're scared. This is a really great pop horror movie, adventure. The score rocks, and you feel like it's a completed story by the end.
Mhm.
You feel the wholeness. I think you said at the end when that family's walking down there, you're like, whew. So I'm going to give huge recommendation if for some reason you haven't seen Poltergeist, or if you haven't seen Poltergeist in a long time, I would say put it on and you're going to be very surprised at how much you like it.
Yep.
That's my take on it.
Wow, that's a good take. It holds up. But I think I'm going to I know what you think I think, but I'm going to find out what my wife thinks. So she's going to tell you, Orsia! Loma! She's busy living. Hold on. Zena, get up here. I need you.
Eric,
Get up here. We got to save our daughter. Come here. So my wife really loves this movie. So we're going to find out what she thinks. And
that's great. We have our first guest.
Yeah.
Our first guest on the podcast.
It's our first, holy crap, it's our first guest. So look, this is my wife. Here, this is Orsina. You speak in there.
Hi, Art. Hi, everyone.
Okay, that's enough. Now, say hi, Dwayne.
Hi, Dwayne.
Dwayne's a big fan. Hi, Dwayne. So tell us briefly what you thought of Poltergeist.
Like as a child or now when rewatching
what do you
it?
like it now? Did you like the movie?
Yes, I love the movie.
Yeah.
It scared me a lot when I was younger, but I think it holds up. It's a classic Steven Spielberg, horror fantasy. It's
Do you
great.
hear what she just said? It's a classic Steven. Who directed it?
Oh, wait a minute. It's not Steven Spielberg. Oh, wait. He produced it, right?
See, this is all I wanted from her. Oh, yeah, you don't even know who directed it, do you?
Oh, but I know it's we no. Okay.
All right, but you loved it.
Yes.
Ursina, it's Toby Hooper, who's also the director of
Toby Hooper.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, your second favorite film.
I've never seen it.
Well, there you go.
But
Yeah,
the reason
all right.
Eric is joking, Ursina, is that there's a whole controversy over who directed the movie.
I see.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
But we loved it.
Well, I'm sure you guys will resolve it. I'm sure you guys will resolve it for all your fans.
No, we won't. Eric
No.
hates that I bring it up.
no, I can't.
He doesn't
stand
like
it.
this.
It's our last podcast. Thanks, my love.
You're welcome.
A little cameo, a guest.
A guest appearance. Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
she
great.
still knows I exist because I'm trapped up in this room with you for hours. Well, okay, so I obviously, Art, I love this film. Here's what I like also is that it holds up. There's a couple of effects like Indiana Jones movies. There's some effects where you're like, all right, that's dated, but it's still, you appreciate it. And this movie, the practical effects, the story, the tension, it keeps going. Rewatching it now, there's no moments where, for a film that was made a while ago, that it stops moving. It just keeps going. And every moment is great. The acting is fantastic. The joking, the mix of all genres to me works so well in this. And it haunts me in the nicest way possible because so many things in that movie scared the crap out of me when I was little and stayed with me to the point of, unbeknownst to me, I have recreated some of these things in my own attractions here in Salem, Massachusetts. So I will talk to my therapist about that. But I love this movie. It doesn't feel, when you're watching it, you're not like, oh, this is shot it's still, you're not distracted by the quality of the movie. So I love the movie. Clearly, my wife loves the movie. She 100% knows the director, so that's good too. So good job, Poltergeist. So good, in fact, Art, that I don't know if you know, but there is an offshoot of Poltergeist that you may not know about that we definitely should never do on this podcast. It's called Poltergeist. You think I'm kidding?
You're not lying.
Oh no!
You're not
no!
joking,
It
are
is
you?
the ghost chicken that attacks people. I'm sure the budget was the same.
So, Eric, that's great. And so now we just got to get to that thing we always
What's that?
are slacking on is how we're going to rate this. We haven't come up with a rating system that we can use for the podcast, like a standard rating system.
Yeah. Well, I don't understand why You should write this down because we definitely have a system.
I'm going to give this 10 out of 10 tennis balls.
Yeah, you were
Tennis ball-
surprised I said tennis balls, weren't you? You thought I
Yes.
was going to come up with something even funnier.
No, tennis balls is great because we can use that for every movie.
True.
Every movie we do now will be 10 out of 10.
10
And
out of
you- and-
10 mosquito bites.
It's hard for me to, yeah.
And 10 out of 10.
It's hard to not do her voice.
10 out of
I
10
can't do it, though.
vengeful spirits. I'm starting to turn a little bit. How y'all doing?
Yeah. 10 out of 10.
I would love if our next podcast you just come on and that's what you just start doing that all the time. So Erik, this has been great. Everybody, thanks for listening to us here on Midnight Cinema. We'll be back next week with another classic horror / adventure / Steven Spielberg / Toby Hooper film.
You fucker.
No. But in the meantime, please subscribe to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. You can find out more about us at midnightcinemapod.com. If you want to contact us, please email us at midnightcinemapod@gmail.com. Let us know any movies that you might want to see us review. Also, please, if you have the time, rate or review us on any of the podcast apps because that does help us get the word out here. So Erik, once again, this has been great. A good movie that we reviewed this week.
Yes. And Art,
Yes?
this podcast is clean.
Come on.
Yes!
Come on.